struggling, or if you're not pitching very well, then a doubleheader could be a downer. But I always like them.
One guy very happy to be here and not struggling at all is Tony Gwynn, perhaps on his way to his 8th batting title, but clearly having his most productive offensive season, already a career high in home runs with 16 and 103 RBIs. And he's told us that he's proven some people wrong at this stage of the game, Teak, that he can put up those kind of numbers, power numbers too.
Well, I think that's the real difference in Tony Gwynn. The 381 average is no surprise. That's typical Tony Gwynn. But the home run and RBI numbers being both career highs already at this point in the season, I think it's a testimony to the fact that for the first time in a long time, Tony Gwynn has basically been healthy for an entire season and is able to put the power numbers along with the always good average numbers.
Well, we will not see Scott Rowland in game 1 of the doubleheader, and likely not at all tonight. That bruise on his arm is still too tender to allow him to play, so likely no Scott Rowland. In terms of the pitching matchup in game number 1, a pair of right-handers. Mark Leiter looks for win number 9 against kind of a soft tosser stepping out of the bullpen. Will Cunnane out of the Florida Marlins organization making a start in game 1 tonight. Stay tuned, everybody. When we come right back to Veterans Stadium, the starting lineups will play ball in game 1 next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Mellon PSFS, it's where you're going. And by Independence Blue Cross at Pennsylvania Blue Shield, the health insurance companies you can lean on.
Lots and lots, tons and tons of tennis balls. Some of the things that are on my Discover card statement. I travel quite a bit. Ooh, I didn't know that the golf ball's around here. Just relax, enjoy nature, and very good. Labidochromis, caeruleus. They don't want to play with me now because I beat them 90% of the time. I'll take out $100 to buy the bait, gas up the boat.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
See, what else do I have on this?
It pays to discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Deep in the forest under railroad trees is a big blue bear and his family. They laugh all together, they play all together, they sing and dance and stay all together. So if you're ever in the forest under railroad.
Midas, Auto Systems experts.
We could not deny the RAV4 our top ranking.
The RAV4 breaks expected molds.
The RAV4 rides a great deal better than many a sedan.
Handling in both RAV4 models is excellent.
The all-new RAV4 recreational activity vehicle starts at only $15,118. Maybe we should start calling it the Rave 4.
Driving it is great fun.
With my old health plan, I needed a referral to see my gynecologist. Now look, I'm a big girl, but the whole ordeal was kind of uncomfortable. But that was then. We switched to Keystone, you know, back by the Blues. They don't make me get permission to see my gynecologist. They understand that I can handle it myself whenever I choose.
Direct Access, another innovation from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
Keystone understands women.
Just about set for baseball, game 1 of our doubleheader from Veterans Stadium. Here's the Padres lineup as they'll face Mark Leiter, Kilby O'Vara, Steve Finley, Tony Gwynn, Ken Caminiti, Wally Joyner back in the lineup after missing 4 games with a muscle pull. Mark Sweeney, Chris Gomez, Carlos Hernandez, and the pitcher Will Cunnane.
Defensively for the Phillies in game number 1, they have Rico Brogna at first, Mickey Morandini at second. Kevin Stocker is a shortstop. Kevin Jordan gets a start at third base. Mike Robertson gets a start in left field. Midre Cummings in center. Billy McMillan moves over to right field for this evening's first game. Behind the plate is Mike Lieberthal. And on the mound, 6'3", 210-pound right-hander Mark Leiter. Leiter making his 26th start of the year for the Phillies. He has an 8-13 mark with a 6.18 earned run average. Marcus had a decision in each of his last 10 starts, going 4-6 during that stretch. He's gone 3-2 though in his last 5 starts on a little bit of a roll. Lost to the Giants last Tuesday by a score of 9-5, and that game lasted just 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 7 runs, walked 4, and struck out 5. So far, he's started twice against the Padres in '97. He's 1 win, no losses, with a 3.27 earned run average. And I guess on the downside for Mark, the big number that stands out is he has surrendered a club-leading 22 long balls. So important for Mark to keep the ball in the ballpark, give his defense a chance to make some plays.
Phil's 21-18 since the All-Star break on a 4-game losing streak, a riveting series against Los Angeles, but the Phils lost all 3 ball games. Padres come to town on a bit of a downer as well as Kilvio Veras steps in and takes the first pitch high. Padres lost 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh and 2 of 3 in New York, and now come to Philadelphia for 4 on this 10-game road trip. Philadelphian Eric Gregg behind home plate in game 1. We had Frank Pulley listed as the first base umpire, but he is indeed at second with Gorman at first and Davison at third. There's the crew chief. 3-0 on Veras. Veras represents much of the quickness on this club, has a club high 29 steals. Strike call. Phillies play him shallow and well around to the opposite field. He's on base to start the ball game. Leiter 53 walks in 138 innings. Now make it 54. Here's Steve Finley. Finley with good power numbers, 23 home runs, 79 RBIs, but the average a bit down from his career. Pulled foul, sounds like a broken bat. And it is. We occasionally look how careers parallel one another. The Elias Statistical Bureau calls them 2 of a kind, and at the same point in the careers, here's how Steve Finley's career matches up almost identically with Gary Maddox, both very good center fielders as well. It's not bad company.
Well, if you're going to be compared to somebody, Gary Maddox definitely one that you would like to be compared with. Steve Finley's comparison very favorable.
Finley's had trouble with right-hand pitching this year, just hitting .258, the check-over move. Veras gets back. Veras' next steal will be 30. So he'd just be 27 home runs away from being a 30-30 guy. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss.
Kind of interesting that Finley, with 23 home runs, batting in the number 2 hole, leads the San Diego Padres. Of course, a lot of that can be attributed to the fact that Ken Caminiti, their number 4 hitter, has had a number of injuries this year that have really held down his power numbers. Just 18 home runs for Caminiti, last year's National League MVP.
It's an 0-2 from Leiter. Up. We're talking pregame with Tony Gwynn, who said that he expected to be a 2-hitter through the course of this season, but when Finley was beaten up a little bit early on, they put him in the 3 spot, and the RBI started piling up. So when Finley came back, they left him there. So it's kind of an unusual spot. Traditionally, Gwynn liked to hit 2. Swing and a miss. Off speed pitch down. First down of the ball game.
Leiter able to get Finley to go out of the strike zone on that breaking ball down in the dirt. So after walking Veras to start the ball game, gets Finley on strikes, and now the aforementioned Tony Gwynn. And, you know, not surprising to me. In fact, it's surprising to me that in the past Gwynn hasn't batted third. You know, the third spot is normally the place where you will put the guy who has the best chance to win a batting title on your ball club. Well, obviously, with the number of batting titles Tony's got, he's got a better shot than anybody in baseball as far as winning a batting title.
See how they work him. They'll set up away on the first pitch. Takes a strike called. Tony, of course, leading the National League batting race. Really a 2-man race, and Walker is fading. Tony Gwynn at .381 with over 100 RBIs for the first time in his career and enjoying good health late in the season. said he has a little bit of a hard time picking up the ball out of Leiter since he's kind of funky with his motion. And you look up his career numbers and he's batting .370. So
yeah, well, he struggles a lot. Tony, he's always whining and complaining about the fact that he can't see the ball. He doesn't feel good. The heel hurts. Something's always wrong. But when you look up at the end of the day, he's got 2-3 hits every night.
Down. It's 1-1. So if he wins this batting title in '97, he'll tie Honus Wagner for second on the all-time list, and that is an absolute who's who of batting average champions and Hall of Famers all.
I was going to say that's a who's who of Hall of Famers is what that is. And whenever Tony Gwynn decides to hang him up 5 years later, put his name on the list of the Hall of Famers.
Got him. Yep. Veras spun his wheels, and Leiter, who's got a real nice quick move for a right-hander, picked him clean. That wasn't even close.
Well, Veras with a little bit of a stutter step over at first base. Leiter with good quick feet and a perfect throw to Bronya. Rico actually had to wait for Veras to get back to the bag as the ball was perfectly placed right on the bag. All Rico had to do was make the catch, and the tag was automatic.
So now 2 outs, nobody on for Tony Gwynn. The 1-1. Ripped for a base hit. Morandini playing Gwynn up the middle. That would have been a typical one hopper to second base for a usual left-handed pull hitter. Instead, for Tony Gwynn, it's base hit number 184.
Gwynn's such a good hitter because he will hit the ball to all fields. Sprays his base hits all over the place. This time gets a fastball in the middle of the plate and pulls it in the hole between first and second. There's just no one way to pitch Tony Gwynn, nor one way to defense him.
His batting streak is now at 7.
That is a hitting machine.
Ken Caminiti batting. Caminiti, his power numbers down a little bit. A career .303 hitter in San Diego in nearly 3 seasons. A little bit low. 2-0. Caminiti, one of the hotter Padres. The catcher Hernandez has hit well of late. Major power numbers for Caminiti over the last fortnight. Curve misses away. 3-0 with Wally Joyner waiting on deck. Green light?
No reason not to.
Strike called on the check swing.
And Caminiti had the green light right there. Was looking for a ball out over the plate. Check swing on that cutting fastball in on his hands. So indeed, Bruce Bochy early on in this ball game was going to turn his big number 4 hitter loose, even with the count at 3-0.
Tony Gwynn getting a short lead. 3-1 for Caminiti. 2 on, 2 out now for Wally Joyner. So the pickoff certainly helps Mark Leiter. And Wally Joyner just back. He had missed the last 4 ball games. Got hurt Wednesday in Pittsburgh. Pulled a muscle between his ribs. Always very painful for a hitter. But has had a high average all year at .333. Strike call. And has hit even better with runners in scoring position. It's a lot of RBIs for just the 3 home runs.
You know, a lot of times, Larry, when guys have back injuries or injuries in that rib area, they can come back and play, but they're really not able to really spin on the ball when they first get back. A little tentative about, you know, if that back is going to hold up for them. So Joyner probably a little bit tentative at this point.
That's long and foul, as I was going to say. So a pitcher might test him inside and see how that quickness is.
Right, that's exactly what you want to do early on, is you want to check to see how quick Joyner is going to be on the inside part of the plate. It takes much more effort and torque on the back to be able to get the hands inside and get the bat out in front. The ball away is easy because you just kind of lay the bat on it and hit it up the middle or the other way. The hard thing to do with a back injury is to pull the ball.
Lieberthal and Leiter having a little bit of a hard time getting together on this 0-2 pitch. So Joyner steps out. Gwynn at second, Caminiti at first, 2 out. Well outside, so they showed them that away, which you would think means they want to get him out in if they can.
Well, you can come back in now, or you can go off speed away, either one. Now, when you're ahead in the count 0-2, it affords you a lot of options. It's why it's so important for pitchers to work ahead in the count. You can really, set the hitter up for what you want to do, as opposed to letting him dictate by being ahead in the count what you can do.
They're coming on in. Just off the plate, 2-2.
Leiter and Lieberthal decide to go to the inside part of the plate. Just missing in there. Good idea if that ball caught the inside corner. Didn't appear as if Joyner was going to have the ability to take a swing at it. Leiter and Lieberthal still having problems here early on in this ball game getting together on pitches.
Here's the 2-2. Off speed is up.
All the advantage now that the Philly right-hander had by being ahead in the count 0-2 has now disappeared with the count working to 3-2. Gwynn at second, Caminiti at first will both be off on the pitch. 3-2 and 2 outs.
Runners go, ball 4. So Leiter has yielded 3 walks and a solid base hit to Tony Gwynn, but still could get out of it if he can find his way to get Mark Sweeney. Terry Francona hoping his club can end this little 4-game downer. And they certainly need innings out of Leiter tonight, team.
Yeah, and not a good start for Mark either, as he's walked 3 batters, giving up the base hit to Gwynn. And when you're in a situation where you're going to have to pitch some innings, all of a sudden you don't want to throw a lot of pitches. Well, Mark already now has thrown 23 pitches in the first inning, only 9 strikes. That toll will take a toll later on in this ball game. You want to try to get as many as you can out of Leiter, save as much bullpen as you can to help out Ryan Karp in game number 2.
Sweeney with the bases loaded. Strike call. Sweeney acquired from St. Louis back in mid-June along with Danny Jackson, the recently retired Danny Jackson, and Rich Batchelor for Fernando Valenzuela, Scott Livingstone, and Phil Plantier. He's hit .351 as a Padre. To left field, Mike Robertson in his first start has his first putout, and Leiter gets out of a lot of first inning trouble. Back in a moment.
If you've been postponing the purchase of a brand new truck, the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. With up to $13.50 off on a Dodge Dakota, or up to $11.85 in package value discounts on a Dodge Ram. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Budweiser.
I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. #1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
know.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
free workout jacket for fans 14 and under. Compliments of Bell Atlantic Mobile when the Phillies play the Reds Sunday, September 14th at 1:35. Great seat location starting at just $5. Call 463-1000.
Bottom of the first, Phil's coming to bat to face Will Cunnane. Here's the lineup they'll use in game one. Midre Cummings, Mickey Morandini, Rico Bronya, Lieberthal batting 4, Billy McMillan 5, Kevin Jordan, Mike Robertson, Kevin Stocker, and Mark Leiter.
Defensively for the San Diego Padres, they have Wally Joyner at first, Kilvio Barris, the second baseman, Chris Gomez, the shortstop, Ken Caminetti at third, Mark Sweeney is in left, Steve Finley in center, Tony Gwynn is the right fielder, Carlos Hernandez behind the plate in the first game, and on the mound, 23-year-old right-hander Will Cunnane. Cunnane making his 7th start and 45th appearance overall for the Padres, has a 6-2 record with a 5.29 earned run average. Padres selected Cunnane from the Florida Marlins in this past year's Rule 5 draft. He has been a part of their roster the entire year.
Facing Midre Cummings, and a strike called. Those are Cummings' overall numbers as a Philly, hitting .305. Up the middle, charging Finley, won't get there, so Cummings leads off with a base hit center field.
Take a look at our Nissan scouting report tonight on Will Cunnane, the starting pitcher for the San Diego Padres. Throws 4 pitches, a fastball, curveball, slider, and a change. None of them are overpowering. He's a control guy. He needs to have pinpoint control and mix his pitches up. He's a good fielder, holds runners well, and at the plate, he does make contact. So, you know, he's not an automatic out. In fact, coming into tonight's ball game, sitting at .364, but Bruce Bochy more concerned about what he does on the mound than what he does at the plate.
Also a reasonably quick worker, which tonight might be important.
Prior to this year, Cunnane had not pitched above the AA level in the Florida Marlin organization. And this is Cunnane's first start since the 23rd of June. He had started some games early for the Padres and had been in the bullpen for a while. He has faced the Phillies 3 times this year, all in relief.
In that final start, he went an inning and a third and gave up 6 runs on 7 hits and was sent to the bullpen. So we don't know how long he might go tonight outside to Morandini. Mickey has that average over 300 at .302, courtesy of a red-hot month of August. Late swing. 1-2. Mickey leads the club with 36 doubles. Strike 3 called as Mickey takes a peek at Eric Gregg. Bit of a high strike on the inside edge, Teague.
Well, we'll take a look right here at this tailing fastball by Cunnane. Starts off on the inside of the plate and then tails back over right around the belt area. It's Mickey looking. Mickey just got a little wink to Eric Gregg as he heads back to the dugout.
So a little tailing fastball.
Well, we said that Cunnane is not overpowering. He mixes his pitches and moves them around. That's exactly what he did to Morandini.
Cummings goes. The throw is on time. Hernandez, a very good arm. The throw just to the left field side. And the sweep tag made by Gomez.
Good pitch for Hernandez to throw on, up and away. Gives him a perfect clear shot to second base. Does leave it a little bit on the third base side, but Gomez able to make the swipe tag just in time. Take a look. Did he get it there? Yes, he did. Just before Cummings got the foot to the bag.
Straight back by Bronya. One of the elements of Cummings' game that the Phillies have been looking for. He's only stolen 1 base since coming to Philadelphia. That's the 3rd time he's been caught stealing. Well, he's hitting .310 now as a Philly, but has not begun to steal bases as yet. Off speed pitch swung through by Bronya. Bronya steps out. That one bounced so far in front of the plate and caught Hernandez up pretty high.
Yeah, this is a major miss right here. You see Hernandez trying to get over in front of it. Of course, if it weren't 2 strikes on Bronya, Hernandez wouldn't have to worry about that if the ball got by. But with 2 strikes, just in case Rico swung, Hernandez felt that he had to go over and try to block it.
That backspin, what'd that indicate, the way it hopped back? Bronya slaps it the other way, foul. When that ball hit, it kicked toward the right-hand box.
It was a breaking ball that he just overthrew way out in the dirt, and it has an overspin on it, so when it hits, it jumps back the opposite direction. That's why catchers despise pitches that bounce that far in front of them. You know, if it's a short hop, it's not going to move very much. They can handle it, but the long ones, they just really have no idea where it's going to go.
High, fair ball, Caminiti near the line. Out number 3. So we're through 1 inning at Veterans Stadium, scoreless.
The most prestigious national authority on evaluating managed health plans has awarded Keystone Health Plan East a full accreditation.
By meeting all of the NCQA's rigorous standards, Keystone is among the top 20% of the nation's HMOs, receiving the highest accreditation possible.
We will continue to work hard to merit this accreditation.
Because we've understood how important quality health care is for you and your family for nearly 60 years.
For unsurpassed quality,
you can lean on us.
Where you're going, you need more than you can get from just any bank. You need Mellon. At Mellon, we offer a full range of loans designed to help you get from here to there and everywhere in between. Right now, you can get great low rates on our home equity loans. So stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELLON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
I teach first grade.
I teach high school classes.
As soon as school gets out, we pack up our camper and we start out traveling. We get Scotty's schedule and we decide where we're going to go. We're all loaded up with groceries and clothes and the dog. And
we'd much rather be out in the woods than we would downtown somewhere.
We love to follow them. We like to see the different ballparks. Other guys might think, well, gee, his parents are camping instead of being motels like ours. But to Scotty, he's used to that. He'd be surprised if we didn't.
Now it's just a matter of days until the world champion Yankees come to Veterans Stadium for their historic meeting with the Phils. The final interleague games of the season begin Monday, September 1st, an afternoon contest. Tuesday the 2nd, Wednesday the 3rd. Make plans to come out. Order your tickets easily by phone, 463-1000. Inquire about the daily specials or purchase your tickets at the Center City Ticket Office, Mellon, PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets. Yep, the Yankees are coming with Charlie Hayes. Some other old friends. Top 2. Gomez, Hernandez, and Cunnane to face Leiter. First ball swinging, Chris Gomez fouls it off. Solid year for Gomez, who came up through the Detroit organization. Traded for Andujar Cedeno middle of last season. Oh, 2. Leiter's got to throw strikes.
Yeah, we mentioned in the first inning the number of pitches that Leiter throws, you know, and normally, obviously, you want to save as much of your bullpen as you can, but on days when you're playing a doubleheader, even more importantly, because it impacts game number 2. Whatever happens in game number 1, obviously, it's going to impact who's available and how much they can pitch in game number 2. So, an extra responsibility for starting pitcher in game 1. Terry Francona sending Mark Leiter out there this evening to be as efficient as you can, get the job done as quickly as you can, and save as much bullpen for number 2. The guys don't have a chance to go home and sleep on it and rejuvenate their arms. They got to come back after 20 minutes and do it again.
Just missed inside. It's interesting. The Padres took a relief pitcher out of the bullpen and made him start game 1 with an established starter in game 2, whereas Francona is using the opposite logic with Ryan Karp going in game 2. So the veteran has the call early in Leiter. Line to left center field. Cummings will not get there. A leadoff base hit for Chris Gomez to start the 2nd. Manager Bruce Bochy, if he has 1 win in today's doubleheader, he would move into 2nd place all time among Padres skippers with with 224 wins. He would tie John McNamara.
Johnny Mac.
Who's the all-time leading manager for the Padres? Think about their mid-'80s postseason team. Carlos Hernandez stands in, goes the other way. Brogna has one there. The throw back is in plenty of time. So a classic 3-6-3 twin killing started and finished to Brogna.
Can't ask for a better double play ball than this. One hopper right to Brogna, plenty of time to make the play at second, and the catcher Hernandez, who doesn't move well at all down the line, out by plenty at first.
He's coming. Cunnane's 4 for 11 makes him a 364 hitter. By the way, that Padre manager Dick Williams, all-time leading winner.
Interesting. I talked to Bochy before the game about why he is starting Cunnane in the first game and Ashby in the second game. Said basically Ashby, the veteran, he gave him his choice of which game he would feel more comfortable pitching. Ashby said he would rather start the second game. Didn't give any reasons. I would guess it's probably because, you know, that will be more around the normal starting time that you would have than starting a game at 5 o'clock. Sometimes pitchers are just a little superstitious about things like that.
It's funny, Tony Gwynn said he would rather have seen Ryan Karp, the lefty, in the twilight and Leiter with the stadium lights on and bright, just to have a better shot at picking up the ball. So everybody's got their own little way of going about their business on these doubleheaders.
I'm not sure if any of those theories are accurate or not, but, you know, as long as you've got one and you believe in it, then it does become a factor for you.
My story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's exactly right.
Leiter hit 93 miles an hour on that fastball. It's 2-2 to Cunnane. Chopper. Foul ball. Still 2-2.
Cunnane doesn't have a whole lot of at-bats this year, but he does get his bat on the ball. He's been to the plate 11 times, only struck out 3. So, you know, he's a guy that has the ability to get the bat on the ball. Take a look at Ryan Karp, who will start game number 2 for the Phillies this evening.
His first National League start. Last time he pitched in the bigs, 2/3 against the Giants.
With a pair of strikeouts, took things into his own hands.
He was trying to key down at about 3 o'clock. That's the other weird thing. You're the game 2 pitcher, your first start. You got to wait. You get to the ballpark, you got like 6-7 hours before you're going to pitch. Count rides full to Cunnane. Leiter took a little something off that to guarantee a strike. Slapped the other way. Count is still full.
Well, game 2 starters have different ways of dealing with it. There are some guys that will not come to the ballpark until, you know, when they anticipate would be a normal time, won't come early. Karp obviously decided to come to the ballpark early tonight and watch game 1, see if he can find out a little something about these Padres. He hasn't seen them before, so a chance to watch Leiter work against them in game 1 and get some idea. You know, you got the scouting reports and you can look at them, but nothing better than firsthand information. Of course, the best information is when you're out on the mound and you can see the hitters yourself, how they react to your stuff. But Karp doesn't have that option, so he's going to watch Mark Leiter work here in game number 1, set himself up for game 2.
Tough play, Morandini. No, Stocker. Safe there. Mickey had just one swipe at it, and by the time Stocker took it on the extra hop, Cunnane beat it out. Infield single, Will Cunnane.
Sometimes the ability of a pitcher to be able to get his bat on the ball pays dividends. It does right here for Cunnane as he gets an infield chopping base hit. Mickey comes in, just not able to make the play on the backhand. Stocker alertly backing him up, but not able to get the ball to first in time.
So Veras, who walked and was picked off in the first, has a 2-out base runner. Morandini to his left. And a good inning for Leiter. We're through an inning and a half at Veterans Stadium, and we are still scoreless. Game 1 of our doubleheader.
Here's the 2-2. He struck him out. Hits it hard to right field. It is gone.
He's got him. Yes, he does. Ground ball, fair ball, right field side. He wants it away. The 1-2. Swing and a miss.
Ground ball. Great play. Stocker. Can he get him? He got him.
He goes. Swing and a miss. Strike him out. Throw him out. Phil's win.
Hit to deep right field. It's gone!
Well, not much of a crowd here today, but it should be a good game. All right, Stewart's batting 3 here.
Hold my Budweiser. I'm going to go find those guys.
All right, Wedman toes the rubber. Delivered. Whoa! A long drive to left field. That ball's going to carry. It's going out of here. There's one lucky fan out there, but he's got something in his hands. What's he going to do? He's got to make his move. It's over with good. Oh, that ball bounced about 20 feet off his head.
Please, just let go of the beer.
Let go of the beer, son.
We got kids. We're constantly on the go.
We want the safest minivan out there.
The 98 Ford Windstar, the only minivan in its class with a 5-star safety rating. Now, with $1,500 cash back, you can drive a Windstar for only $254 a month.
That's a small price to pay to keep our family safe.
Plus, Windstar is even easier to get into and out of.
No more pushing, no more shoving, and everybody's happy.
Ford Windstar, $254 a month, but only until September 3rd during Ford's factory-authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Well, your likely rookie of the year, Scott Rowland, played the first 124 games of the season, and now is sitting out back-to-back ball games. The contusion of the left arm, courtesy of one Hideo Nomo, and Scott showed his anger really for the first time all year. Got drilled there, and if you kind of read his lips, he'll say that's the third time that Nomo's got him, and indeed the third time hit by the same pitcher. Start to get a little bit perturbed by that, I might imagine, T.
Well, Rowland hit now 11 times this year, and he's taken a couple of them on that elbow as he, hangs in there. The reason why he's such a good hitter is he stays in there on that breaking ball and doesn't give ground on the pitches that start on the inside part of the plate. But obviously he's had some success against Nomo and now been hit 3 times. He just wanted Nomo to know that, yes, indeed, I know what you're doing, and it better stop real soon.
And Matt Beach kind of took care of business and plunked Piazza yesterday in his first at-bat. And after the game, Piazza basically said, I knew it was coming, and that's part of the process, and we took out their best player. You kind of expect that. And kind of no harm, no foul, except Scott Rowland's back on the bench again tonight. And there is the man that took care of business, Matt Beach, sitting to Scotty's right. So Mike Lieberthal, the cleanup hitter tonight in game 1. He will just play 1, we are pretty much sure tonight.
I would think so. Terry has done that, throughout most of the year. He never really has guys catch that often. And, in fact, with a doubleheader, you expect to see Mark Parent in game number 2. This time of the year after the innings are mounting up, you want to give your catchers a break, and you don't want to take Mike and make him catch 18 innings today. If you did that, then you basically take him out of the picture for tomorrow. So I'm sure the catching duties will be split this evening.
Outside corner 1 and 2. You saw Mike's 97 numbers against the Padres. His lifetime average against San Diego is .340, his best versus any National League club. Just got a piece. Out in front of an off-speed pitch, it's still 2-2. Cunnane's thrown that little tailing fastball, slider, changeup. Stepping out of the bullpen for this, and the curveball. A 4-pitch pitcher, at least as a starting pitcher. Off his foot. Still 2-2. Oftentimes you see, Teague, pitchers that are in between bullpen and starting have different repertoires based on what their jobs might be.
Well, if you're in the bullpen and you're pitching middle relief or short relief, obviously you're not going to be in there very long. Hitters aren't going to see you 2 or 3 times a game, so therefore you can pretty much just take your best stuff and take it right at them because they won't have a chance to gear in. As a starting pitcher, you have to kind of set up the next couple of bats. Cunnane overthrows that fastball well outside. So as a starting pitcher, I would think Cunnane would be more apt to use all of his pitches as opposed to a relief role where he would probably just use 1 or 2 of them, whichever ones are working for him well that night.
Fastball 92 miles an hour and overthrown, as Teague said, so the count is full. He walked him. So in each of the 4 half innings thus far, the leadoff man has been on. Here's Billy McMillan. with Lieberthal at first base. McMillan playing right field tonight in game 1 against Cunnane. Has now been a Philly for a week and hitting .286 as a Philly. Inside 1-0.
Interesting, Larry, as we look at the lineup cards here, neither team has a left-handed reliever in their bullpen. Bruce Bochy never does have one. Of course, Ryan Karp, the sole left-hander for the Phillies, he's starting in game number 2. And only Ruben Amaro on the bench will be able to bat from the left side because both teams also have all right-handed hitters. Of course, part of that is a byproduct of knowing that the fact that there are no left-handers in the bullpen. So against the right-handed starters, all the left-handed hitters are in the lineup, including McMillan.
See Joyner not holding Lieberthal to try to cut off the hole. And Lieberthal just getting that front foot right to the edge of the cutout. Off speed pitch hit high and deep to right. Gwynn, rim of the track, middle of the track has it. And Lieberthal will hustle back. Just a little bit off the end of the bat for Billy McMillan for out number 1.
Yeah, good swing by McMillan. Just caught it out toward the end of the bat, just a shade out in front of this pitch from Cunnane. See that tailing fastball again, that one that moves away from the left-handers at the last second, just worked out toward the end of the bat, and that was just enough to keep it in the ballpark where Tony Gwynn could handle it.
So here's Kevin Jordan as a backup third baseman in Philadelphia. You will not get a ton of work. Jordan with consecutive starts. Hitting at .250. Padres play him straight away. Off the hands. Caminiti looks like he'll have room, and does. Out number 2. Cunnane has yet to get a ground ball.
He's using that tailing fastball very effectively. We saw him move it away from McMillan. He hits it on the end and use that same pitch on the inside part of the plate to Kevin Jordan to jam him and pop him up into foul territory. As we mentioned, not an overpowering type pitcher, so he uses the movement and location of his pitches to get hitters out as opposed to just raw power.
And a little bit of a conference, I guess, to talk about a hitter that Hernandez and Cunnane know very little about, Mike Robertson. Robertson added to the roster to take the place of the disabled Greg Jeffries, getting his first start in left field tonight. Ball 1 away. Robertson acquired out of the White Sox organization in the trade for Gene Shaw, the one-time standout from Villanova. It has a bit of an unusual grip and hand location with that finger extended. And a strange interlock.
As you notice, Larry, that finger was extended, but when the pitch comes ready, gets ready to come toward home plate, then all of a sudden that finger wraps back down around the bat. It really doesn't matter how you stand there. It's what position you're in when the bat starts going forward.
That's likely some form of timing device for him.
This is what he's comfortable with.
He really seems to squeeze those wrists together, try to get that top hand over. He popped up as a pinch hitter yesterday in his Phillies debut. 3-0. Taking all the way, it's 3-1. Watching closely is Hal McRae, Phillies hitting coach, who rarely tries to change his style, just likes to refine what he's been dealt. High in the air to short left field, where Sweeney has it, out number 3. All fly balls thus far for Will Cunnane. We're scoreless through 2.
Neither rain nor mud, nor ruts and ridges, nor rocks and rivers, nor sleet nor snow shall keep a new Toyota 4Runner from keeping you from your appointed rounds. Power you need, and all the room and comfort you want. And with a starting price around $20,000, it could take your dollar even further.
So, you want to see my Discover Card statement? I am very, very prissy. I love to be pampered. I go have my hair done. I love to go have my nails done, have pedicures, manicures. My biggest weakness would have to be shoes. Cashback bonus award really floats my boat.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
I am definitely a shopaholic.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
You've been smart to hold off buying a new car because the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. On Neon and Stratus, get $1,000 cash back. On Intrepid, get up to $1,500 cash back. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Free workout jacket for fans 14 and under. Compliments of Bell Atlantic Mobile when the Phillies play the Reds Sunday, September 14th at 1:35. Great seat location starting at just $5. Call 463-1000.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Part of the lineup for the Padres as we move to the third. Finley, Gwynn, and Caminiti in a scoreless ball game. Larry Rosen, Kent Tekulve, glad you're with us for doubleheader baseball. Chris Wheeler will join us in inning number 4. Finley struck out in his first at-bat. Off-speed pitch, strike one. Finley's now 32 years of age. A year ago set career highs in virtually every category. Hit 30 home runs. Scored 126 runs. And that's low. Off-speed pitch swung through. Finley came into a year ago with just 42 career home runs in 7 years and hit 30 a year ago with swings like that.
Yeah, Finley well out in front of that breaking ball. He did that a couple times the first time around, swinging at breaking balls way out in front. So he's gearing strictly on fastball, at least early in this ball game.
In the dirt on Leiter's splitter. 2-2. Not a ton of atmosphere in the yard just yet. Good pitch, struck him out. As Leiter goes down and away for the strikeout.
Second time tonight, Leiter able to get Finley out of the strike zone. This splitter in the dirt again. First time it was a curveball down. This time the split finger. Again, Finley well out in front of the pitch. He's lunging out on his front foot and waving at it with one hand. Those kind of swings will send you back to the bench.
Tony Gwynn batting. He got career hit number 2,744 in his last at bat. He's now 41st on that list. He has passed 24 players, including 15 Hall of Famers on the hit list. Among them, a guy in the booth down to our left. 2-0.
There's the Hall of Famer. He just moved down one notch on the list. Compliments of Tony Gwynn.
Well, the names he's passed this year: Gehrig, Ashburn, Ernie Banks, Reggie Jackson. And never strikes out. He has 22 strikeouts in well over 500 plate appearances in 1997. And that number keeps improving as he gets older. Off-speed pitch up the middle, and Tony Gwynn has his 57th multi-hit game of 1997. A typical up the middle, hit it where it's pitched, base hit for Gwynn.
Well, one thing you're never able to do is get Gwynn to lunge at a ball. You see right here, even though his body starts forward, the hands stay back until he recognizes where the ball's at, and then just throws the head of the bat right at it. Shoots it up the middle past Kevin Stocker. I can only remember a handful of times in all the years I've watched Tony Gwynn swing at a baseball that he has had an off-balance swing. And he just doesn't ever do it. And of course, that's what pitchers are always trying to do, is get you off balance at the plate.
Ken Caminiti batting. Strike called. We're talking to Tony, and he said when early in his career he was compared with Brett Butler, Mookie Wilson, Willie McGee. Like, those were the players that his, quote, talents were most akin to. And now in his upper 30s, most of those guys have kind of fallen by the wayside. And Gwynn is now a power hitter and a 100 RBI guy at age 37, having his most productive season. He last was at the 400 mark on July 14th. Now at 385 after his 2 for 2. Check swing, but he went. Greg needs no help to call that strike 2. Caminiti had that rotator cuff surgery in the offseason, was slow to come back, but has been a much more powerful hitter since the All-Star break. Had 6 home runs before the break and now a dozen since. High fastball, swing and a miss. So Leiter climbs the ladder, his 3rd strikeout.
Leiter just throws his fastball by Caminiti very late on the swing. Got a couple pitches down in the strike zone and then popped his hard fastball up around the letters. Caminiti swings right through it and swings late.
Wally Joyner, who walked, one of 3 walks issued in that first inning by Leiter, but it didn't hurt him. Cummings in stride. And the Padres are gone in the 3rd. We'll go bottom of the 3rd of a still scoreless ball game.
When I call, I may need a lot of answers.
Almost any question you might have, we can answer. From how much your bill is, the date that the bill's mailed out, the date that it's due, any past due balances, if you have any questions about whether we receive payments, any type of usage, we can tell you how much different appliances would cost to use. We can even tell you how much it costs to run your hot tub.
Good morning. Thank you for calling Pico Energy. My name is Judy. How may I help you?
Budweiser withstood the test of time. It has over 120-year heritage. That heritage is there for one simple reason: because of the people behind the brand Budweiser, and most importantly because quality was never compromised. Beer is like a food, and just like any natural food with no additives and preservatives, fresh food does indeed taste better. A beer is the best it will ever be when it leaves the brewery. You can look exactly at how fresh Budweiser is through our born-on dating system. It tells you when that product was made and how fresh that product is in the marketplace. There's a lot of pride and tradition in the beer business, and that's what we're about. We're about people, about families, and about selling the highest quality beer products in the world.
Well, Phillies fans, here's your chance to stop dreaming. Suit up every day in your Phillies uniform under the Florida sun with some of the greatest Phillies stars of all times. A special 15th anniversary Phillies Dream Week. Reserve a space now. Call 215-938-1200. That's 215-938-1200. Join us for Phillies Dream Week.
Bottom of the 3rd, still scoreless ball game. This is the 8th time in history the Phils and Padres have played a Veterans Stadium twilight doubleheader. Phils have swept 2, 6 have been split, but the most famous one came back on July the 2nd, 1993. And around our place, all you've got to do is say 4:40 in the morning. And everybody remembers that game as Stocker swings through the first pitch. There were 3 rain delays in that first game. Second game didn't start until about 1:45 in the morning and ended on a Mitch Williams base hit 12 hours and 5 minutes after the first game was scheduled to start, as Stocker slaps a fly ball the other way to Sweeney for out number 1. And as we say that, the skies cloud up instantaneously.
Don't even think about it.
There is a chance of a shower or two in the area tonight.
Nothing threatening, though.
Not a 440 kind of threatening.
No. We're going to play 18 innings straight on through there. Think positive.
I do. Here's Mark Leiter, a 128 hitter, 5 for 39. And Will Cunnane has been economical, has thrown strikes, and has stayed out of trouble so far. Gave up a leadoff base hit to Midre Cummings. Midre was thrown out trying to steal. And a walk to Lieberthal. Otherwise, fly balls and a strikeout. Outside, 1-2. Swing and a miss. An unusual kind of herky-jerky motion from Cunnane had Leiter way out front of a slider down low. Game 2 will come up immediately following our first ball game. It'll be the first ever National League start for Ryan Karp against former Philly farmhand and former Philly Andy Ashby. Game 2 following this one. There is Ryan Karp watching very closely. Cummings, a line drive base hit center field. The other way, it's in there. Cummings goes hard all the way, will not take 2. Takes the wide turn. Sweeney's throw eludes Veras at second, but there's Will Cunnane, the pitcher, to back it up. So Cummings, a 2-out base runner, has both Phillies hits.
Cummings with a pair of hits on the evening. A pretty good tailing fastball by Cunnane right there, actually out of the strike zone, but Cummings, with the discipline to hit it the other way, able to get it over Caminetti's head into left field. Sweeney, who was shading him over in that area, got to the ball quickly. Therefore, Cummings not able to get himself into scoring position with 2 outs. See, the ball short hops past Veras, but Cunnane was there to make the play.
Morandini, a tapper over the mound. Gomez charges, plants, throws, got him. Good play by Gomez on the first ground ball thrown by Cunnane. 3 scoreless innings in the books.
With my old health plan, I needed a referral to see my gynecologist. Now look, I'm a big girl, but the whole ordeal was kind of uncomfortable. But that was then. We switched to Keystone, you know, back by the Blues. They don't make me get permission to see my gynecologist. They understand that I can handle it myself whenever I choose.
Direct Access, another innovation from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
Keystone understands women.
Excuse me, folks. I don't mean to judge, but it looks like you could use a little more excitement in your life. What do you say?
Play Cash 5 from the Pennsylvania Lottery, and you could experience the excitement of winning all the cash all at once.
Free workout jacket for fans 14 and under. Compliments of Bell Atlantic Mobile when the Phillies play the Reds Sunday, September 14th at 1:35. Great seat location starting at just $5. Call 463-1000.
Scoreless in the top of the 4th inning, Phillies and Padres. Every year it seems like every ball club has somebody that gives them a tough time. We talked to Tony Gwynn before the ball game, and he was talking about the Philadelphia Phillies being one of those clubs that have always given the San Diego Padres a tough time. This is what he had to say.
team that always plays us tough, regardless if they have name guys or no name guys. They're going to come out and they're going to play you tough for 9 innings, and it was basically discussed before the series started. And they basically came in and just manhandled us for 2 days, and since then we haven't recovered from that. And so, but that's baseball. You know, in my mind, those things are going to happen. You know, there are certain teams during the course of the year that when it gets right down to the heat of the battle, you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to play them. Pittsburgh and Philly are those 2 teams for us.
And in fact, the Philadelphia Phillies were the club that started this little bit of a tailspin for the San Diego Padres when they were in San Diego. Tony Gwynn very well aware of the fact that the Padres have struggled with the Phillies. Well, we got 18 innings of baseball this evening, and my play-by-play partner Larry Rosen is going to get a little middle relief. So now that old right-handed middle reliever from Marple Newtown High School is going to step in and bring you the next couple innings. Chris Wheeler, welcome aboard, Chris.
Thank you, Teak. I feel like the cavalry coming in here. Nice to be here for a couple innings with you in this game. In the second game, Mark Sweeney will lead it off. Flied out with the bases loaded in the first inning after Leiter had walked a few batters and picked one off first. No score so far as Cunnane and Leiter both pitched pretty well. Outside will be Sweeney, then Gomez, Hernandez, and then you get down to the bottom of the order with Will Cunnane, the pitcher, due to bat 4th in the inning. First of 2 here at Veterans Stadium, a make-up doubleheader. Phillies in San Diego. Swinging a foul tip, held on to by Lieberthal. Have you decided to pace yourself tonight? I mean, since you have to be here for all of them?
Oh, I'm always on a good pace. Pace is not a problem.
Well, you wouldn't have liked it that night I did a doubleheader with San Diego with Jay Johnstone.
We just
night.
talked about that one, and you're right. I was glad I wasn't here.
Baby, was that a long night. 12 hours and 5 minutes. And that didn't include the pregame. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But you weren't counting.
Oh. But it was all worth it, right? Thank you, John Slobotkin down the truck says it was all worth it. Yeah, it was that year, 1993. Swing and a foul ball. Tagged out is the hitter Sweeney, so another strikeout for Mark Leiter. 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Leiter's 4th strikeout of the evening. All 4 of them he gets in the same place, breaking balls and splitters down in the dirt. Getting ahead of the Padre hitters and getting the fish at the low pitches.
He walked 3 in the first inning. Hasn't walked a batter since, as he seems to have settled into a least decent groove here. Here's Chris Gomez, the shortstop, single to center his first time up. Kind of interesting that piece you had on Tony Gwynn as I was coming in here. I think nobody would appreciate that more than Francona, Terry Francona, who is all he's asked of his ball club this year is to try and play as hard as they can. I mean, he knows better than anybody they're short of talent as far as a 25-man roster goes, and all he wants them to do is try and be competitive.
And they have done that for him over the course of the year. I think that's one thing that Terry has continually talked about through the good times and the bad times, is the fact that, yes, indeed, we may have struggled, but our ball club has worked hard the entire time, and that's really all you can ask of a ball club.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn there talking about the Phillies and the Pirates. He had a lot of trouble with the state of Pennsylvania as his ball club, evidently.
Obviously, Tony Gwynn doesn't know that the one team that used to kill me was the San Diego Padres.
He probably got a hit or 2 off.
Yeah. Well, the worst part about Gwynn was it wasn't that he got base hits. He always hit them right back between my legs. No, he wouldn't hit a little flare to left or line drive to right. He hit line drives right through my legs, right up the middle.
That would make sense. Throwing him sinkers away, and he tried to hit it back through the middle on you.
And he did.
Ball 2 strikes now on Gomez with 1 out. Nobody on base in the 4th inning. Scoreless. First game of a twilight doubleheader here tonight at Veterans Stadium. Breaking ball and a swing and a miss. Another strikeout. I think Eric Gregg just made a little motion there. That could have been a foul tip held on to by Lieberthal. So 2 strikeouts in the inning.
Leiter gets the first 2 strikeouts. A little bit of a backup breaking ball right here. Gomez swings over the top of it. Sometimes that backup breaking ball is not the worst pitch in baseball. The only problem with it is you can't throw it when you want it. It just kind of happens.
Yeah, it's tough for a hitter because he can't figure out what it was either. Here's Hernandez, the catcher, ground into a double play his first time up. Strike call, it says Eric Gregg. Carlos Hernandez catching this game. John Flaherty, the other catcher. And he'll probably see him in the second game of the doubleheader, as Mark Parent will probably catch for the 1 ball and 1 strike now on Gomez. 2 outs and nobody on base. Phillies with 2 hits in the ball game. San Diego has 4. Hammered foul, third base side. Kevin Jordan, the third baseman tonight. No, Teak and Larry have already gone through Scott Rowland's situation, so you don't expect to see much of him for a little while, as that left arm is very stiff. Kevin Sefcik playing over there yesterday, and Kevin Jordan in the first game of the doubleheader tonight.
In fact, I saw Scotty yesterday and looked at the back of his elbow, and the stitch marks from that pitch are still there. Yeah. Very evident where he got hit.
Everything on there but Mr. Coleman's autograph. Yeah, I mean, we were doing that game the other night, and I had forgotten that Nomo had hit him twice already, and you just knew something, there was something more to it, and obviously it progressed into that as the night went along, and then again yesterday.
Of course, Scotty had hit Nomo once. Usually hitters don't get their chance to get even. Scotty took it in his own hands and hit a line drive off Nomo out in Los Angeles,
which he probably didn't like. Not like you can aim at him. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitcher Cunnane waits on deck. Want to get Hernandez out of the way here. Lead off with Cunnane next inning. Lieberthal called fastball in. Leiter wants a fastball away to Hernandez, and he gets it and fouls it into the Phillies dugout, first base side. Phillies need innings out of him tonight. They're a little short in the bullpen because they need Carp for the second game, so just 5 right-handers available, and the worst things would be in the first game of a doubleheader is to lose your starter early. Now they're going to go back inside to him. And a line drive to left center field. Robertson can't make the play. It's going to go to the wall. Cummings backs up, and that'll be a stand-up double for Carlos Hernandez, his 7th double of the year. Robertson is a first baseman playing left field tonight, and you could see he did not get a real good jump on that ball.
See, this fastball right here was supposed to be in, got it up and out over the plate. Hernandez hits it hard in the left center. Robertson, with a good effort, just came up short as he dove for the ball. As you mentioned, Robertson, a first baseman by trade in the outfield this evening.
He is.
Terry Francona kind of juggles that lineup.
Yeah, he's an excellent first baseman too. You see Carlos Hernandez now with a 10-game hitting streak. Robertson can really play first base, but you know, with the injuries to Jeffries, the injury to Rowland, they have to do some juggling, as Teak just mentioned. So Robertson playing left field tonight. Cunnane takes a strike called. He got an infield hit his last time up, and he's 5 for 12 of the year, a .417 batter. Rule 5 draft pick out of the Florida Marlins organization. Nubs one, cut off there by Leiter. Will throw him out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. You are watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No score as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the 2-2. He struck him out. Hits it hard to right field. It is gone. He's got him. Yes, he does. Ground ball, fair ball, right field side. He wants it away. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ground ball. Great play. Stocker, can he get him? He got him. He goes. Swing and a miss. Strike him out. Throw him out. Phil's win. Hit the deep right field. It's gone.
I'm going to give you something to scream about. Get over here. Get up. I can't. I'm talking to you. Get up. I can't. Stop crying. You're asking for it again.
For information about how you can help stop domestic violence, call us.
Budweiser.
I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer.
That's it, man. #1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser Lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
know.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louie. Let it go.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. By Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile, who has the largest network on the East Coast because your calls must get through. By your local Dodge dealers. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. By Pico Energy, focusing our energies on you. By Nissan, who reminds you that life's a journey. Enjoy the ride. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you.
No score as the Phillies come to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-2. Business person special number 5. The final one of the year will be on Wednesday afternoon. Curt Schilling will be pitching for the Phillies. San Diego Padres here at 1:05, and that's the final one of the year. As we mentioned, all fans receive this year's edition of the Pride of the Phillies poster, which will feature Curt Schilling. So make your plans to come on out. Call 463-1000. Ask about the daily special. Stop by the Center City ticket office, Broad and Chestnut Streets.
Kind of funny how that works out, isn't it? The Pride of the Phillies poster, Curt Schilling on it, and my gosh, Curt Schilling will be on the mound Wednesday afternoon against the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, that'll be a good matchup, too, because Joey Hamilton will be going for the Padres. He's a real good pitcher. There is Curt Schilling, will be the pitcher here Wednesday. Rico Brogna, the batter, foul out of play down the left field line. Rico popped up foul to Caminetti at third his first time up. Curt Schilling likes to be down in that end of the dugout. Talk a little ball with the skipper and Chuck Cottier. There is Joey Hamilton out of Georgia, University of South Georgia, will pitch that ball game, or Georgia Southern, I mean. Nice catch by that guy with a fishing net.
Yeah.
On the fly, he caught that baby.
Yeah, check, make sure you got a good, strong test net in there.
That ball went in there so hard he can't get it out.
Flipped around a couple times. Wait a second, I got this souvenir. Now what do I do with it? Take a look at Joey Hamilton in the Padres dugout. You mentioned Schilling down by the manager. Hamilton looks like he's in a penalty box down there at the end of the Padres dugout.
Would-be cameraman, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, always got to prepare for your next career just in case. Never know when one of those arm injuries is going to come up.
Joey Hamilton, a former #1 pick. Here's a 2-2 now to Rico, and it is low. Hernandez came firing out of there as if he thought he might have had a strikeout. And now Brogna wants the home plate umpire Eric Gregg to check out the baseball, which he will do. And he's going to give Hernandez a new one. Rico Brogna saw something in that ball he didn't like. Will Cunnane, the youngster who never pitched higher than AA baseball prior to this season. Padres took a chance on him, and he's done a good job for them as a starter and a reliever, and he walks Rico Brogna to lead off the 4th inning. That is walk number 2 issued by Will Cunnane. And that'll bring up Mike Lieberthal. He walked leading off the 2nd inning, then was stranded. Lieberthal batting in the 4-hole today.
This is the 3rd time in 4 innings that the Phillies have had their leadoff runner on base, have not been able to chase anyone across the plate yet. Going to take another run at it right here in the bottom of the 4th.
Strike call to Mike Lieberthal by Cunnane. Lieberthal, McMillan is on deck. Cunnane started quite a few games for the Padres early in the year, but he's been back in the bullpen. He did not have a whole lot of success as a starting pitcher.
Well, you would think just by looking at Cunnane that stamina would be a problem for him. At 6'2" and 165 pounds, not a real big guy. Especially when you get in those hot months of June and July. You know, the heat takes a toll on a pitcher. You usually look for the guys that are a little bigger physically to be able to go out there and give you 7-8 innings. Cunnane not one of those types of pitchers.
Breaking ball popped up shallow right field. Tony Gwynn coming on in. And there's one out. Saw a shot of John Vukovic going through the signs. It was nice of Vuk to stick around to the 4th inning today. A little early exit yesterday. There he is.
No comment. You guys can have your own little running battle. That's fine with me.
Third base umpire Rich Rieker threw him out of the game for demonstrative. for being way too demonstrative. I said, what did you say to him? He said, I didn't say anything. I said, I was just hopping around patting my leg.
Didn't have time.
Didn't have time to say anything. Says they better not find me for that. Here's McMillan, who flied out to right and deep on a changeup his last time. There's a base hit to center field. McMillan hit it hard. Bronya will stop at second. Finley, a good outfielder, right on that one. So the Phillies, for the first time in the ball game, have 2 men on base with 1 out. And that will bring up Kevin Jordan, the third baseman.
Phillies left-handed hitters starting to adjust a little bit to that tailing fastball by Cunnane as they're staying back on it and hitting it the other way. You see right here, McMillan stays back on it and lines it over the shortstop Chris Gomez's head into left field.
He looks like he's trying to sink a lot of balls. An occasional changeup, curveball.
Yeah, and he's got a real good tail on that fastball. He got Morandini in the first inning on one that tailed back in over the inside part of the plate, and actually got McMillan the last time fly out to right field deep on a ball that tailed away from him and caught it out at the end of the bat. So it seems like, we haven't seen a whole lot of Cunnane, but they're starting to adjust to the fact that fastball now tails away from the left-handers into the right-handers.
Kevin Jordan popped up to Caminetti, foul his first time up. Hard ground ball, great play, Caminetti. What a play by the all-star Gold Glove third baseman. He gets an out at second, saves a run, and now there are 2 outs and runners at the corners, and he can really pick them.
Caminetti has had some physical problems, but it has not affected his fielding whatsoever. As you mentioned, the Gold Glove third baseman, and this is why. Spinning from the seat of his pants, a perfect throw to second base for the force out. It's tough enough to get to this ball, but then when you're on your rear end to be able to throw a strike, you got to have a strong arm and pretty good balance. Ken Caminetti, outstanding play.
And you see Ken Caminetti with assists per 9 innings. He's really something. And one thing about him, I mean, he's a dirty uniform player. There you see his errors, 18. Scott Rowland has a lot of errors. There are some third basemen who are going to put up some errors because they get to a lot of balls, and then they wind up with some errors on balls that, most people don't even think about getting near.
Well, they get the balls that other people don't get to, and then all of a sudden you're making off-balance throws, and that's a lot of times where those throwing errors come from.
Robertson, the batter. Mike Robertson spending the year at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, acquired by the Phillies in the Gene Shaw deal. And Robbie did not hit a whole lot his first month of the season, then picked it up to a .298 clip with 12 homers, 72 RBIs when they called him up. He's 0 for 2 now in a Phillies uniform. Popped up as a pinch hitter yesterday and hit a fly ball to left in the second. He swings and misses. Robertson was with the Phillies in spring training, so being called up now isn't all that strange to him because he knows a lot of people on the ball club. He was with the Phillies all during the spring. There goes the base runner, a high chopper and a base hit. They won't get anybody on this. Mike Robertson with an infield single knocks in a run with his first hit, and the Phillies lead it 1-0. That is his first major league hit, and he'll never forget it.
Not only a hit, but an RBI as he chops his ball off home plate. Caminetti has to retreat to make the play. Has no chance at all to throw out Robertson at first base. Look like a line drive tomorrow morning.
That's right. When he gets that ball back and they put first major league hit off Will Cunnane of San Diego, he can tell everybody it was a rocket.
And drove in a run.
And drove in a run. Phillies lead at 1-0 here in the 4th inning, and now Stocker will bat. Kevin Stocker flied out his first time up. There you see the base runners. Kevin Jordan on at second, and Mike Robertson, the runner at first base. And outside with a sinker, 2-0. On deck is Mark Leiter, the pitcher. Two and one. And Stocker fouls one off first base side. Phillies with 2 hits in the inning. And the leadoff walk comes back to hurt Cunnane. As Teak had mentioned, the Phillies had the leadoff man on 2 prior times of this inning, hadn't hurt him. You keep putting the leadoff man on, the odds are sooner or later someone's going to get a run. Stocker takes it low. The appeal to Bob Davidson. No, he did not swing. So now the runners will be off. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jordan from second and Robertson from first. They go, and Stocker hits it foul first base side, says Brian Gorman. And Tony Gwynn tosses the ball to some kids out there in the right field seats. So Cunnane, having to work hard in this inning, has given up a run, the first of the run for either team. And has runners at first and second, 2 outs, and a 3-2 count on Stocker. And they are ready to go on the pitch. It's low and inside. Ball 4. He walked him. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Leiter, who struck out his first time up. Walk number 3 issued by Cunnane, 2 of them in this inning.
And Wills, we talked in it during the first inning. We talked about the fact that, you know, it's the starting pitcher's responsibility to keep the bullpens quiet as long as possible, because it's going to have an effect on game number 2. Big opportunity right here for the Phillies if they can get some more going here and get Cunnane out of this ball game to get into the San Diego bullpen early, use up some of those relievers and soften that bullpen up a little bit for the second game.
Dan Warthen, the pitching coach, out on the mound. Yeah, and the Padres actually have 1 more reliever than the Phillies, as you see. Dario Varas, the right-hander, starting to throw. They activated Jim Bruschi prior to the ball game and sent Ruben Rivera out. Well, Cunnane, 61 pitches, 23 this inning. At Jim Bruschi, you got to love him. When they announced him out in San Diego, they played the Budweiser theme.
My kind of guy.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. They're glad he's not named Bruschi. High chopper. Here comes Caminetti. It's a tough play. Throws, and he got him. Ken Caminetti wound up over at first base and is limping on his way back to the dugout. See Caminetti with a little hitch in his giddy up there. Here he comes. Look how far he comes for this. The Phillies get a run on 2 hits and leave him loaded, but lead it 1-0 after 4.
It's time for Bernie Williams to get into the batter's box and face a rock-hard ball coming from just 60 feet 6 inches away. Battling sinkers, sliders, curves, fastballs, and the occasional brushback. But Bernie doesn't sweat it. Hey, he's got a whole 1/10 of a second to react.
We could not deny the RAV4 our top ranking.
The RAV4 breaks expected molds.
The RAV4 rides a great deal better than many a sedan.
Handling in both RAV4 models is excellent.
The all-new RAV4 recreational activity vehicle starts at only $15,118. Maybe we should start calling it the Rave 4.
Driving it is great fun.
Time now for our Discover Card playback this evening. Let's take another look at Mike Robertson's first Major League RBI as he bounds the ball off the turf right over the head of Ken Caminetti at third base. Gets the Phillies on the board. They take a 1-0 lead in this ball game, and Mike can take this film right here and put it in his archive. We've got a 2-angle shot of his first Major League hit, first Major League RBI.
Yeah, and there's a possibility that he could have hurt himself a little in that play, did Caminetti. When he went back, you see he kind of awkwardly lands on an ankle, and he was really hobbling after the play that ended the inning.
That's not a normal play for a third baseman when they have to retreat like that and then slam the brakes on Caminiti, a big guy, and you know, not the normal way that he's used to stopping. So he may have done a little damage, as you mentioned, was limping quite noticeably as he walked off the field at the end of the inning. In fact, still limping now. They see him in the dugout.
Wally Joyner taking a look to see how he is, and there is Mike Robertson with his first major league hit, produced a run. So the Phillies now with a 1-0 lead for Mark Leiter, who will face the top of the order, and Kilvio Veras, Steve Finley, and Tony Gwynn when we get underway. No runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the Padres. You see the Phillies with the run on 4 hits and no errors. Leiter got away with some walks in the first inning. Cunnane not able to get away with a leadoff walk in the 4th. Here comes Veras, who walked and then was picked off by Leiter, and also was grounded out the second.
And that pickoff was a big play in the first inning as he picks off Veras, and then Gwynn gets a single, walks to Caminiti and Joyner. Now that pickoff was what kept the Padres off the board in the first.
Right, because they followed with some hits and walks after that. Kilvio Veras, who was in the Mets organization originally, then with Florida, and now over here with San Diego, closing in on 30 stolen bases. He also led the league in steals one year. And he's had some leg problems since then. Leiter gets the first pitch over for a strike. Kevin Jordan way up at third in case Veras should decide to bunt. Low 1-1, a breaking ball. One ball and 1 strike to Kilvio Veras. Hard ground ball, but right at Mickey Morandini. Throws him out. And the leadoff man gone here in the 5th. Homestand continues with the San Diego Padres. Well, there's another game tonight if you want to come on out. So think about it. It's a beautiful night here at Veterans Stadium. Then tomorrow night at 7:35. Wednesday, 105 Mellon PSFS Pride of the Phillies poster featuring Curt Schilling. Also Curt Schilling on the mound for that one. 215-463-1000. That game at 105, the final BPS of the year. Finley has struck out twice. He's been throwing him a lot of splitters that he's chased. There's a first ball fastball. Finley coming into this game not swinging the bat real well. And that's very rare if the Phillies ever see that. This guy seems like he's always hot when the Phillies face him. Inside. He's hitting just .207 over his last 38 games and an 18 for 86 at this point. But one of those guys who seems like he gets straightened out and is one of the premier players in this league. He's also a Gold Glover. Leiter misses inside, 2-1. Mark Leiter was 77 pitches, a lot of them coming in a long first inning. 45 strikes, 32 balls. We are in the 5th.
Yeah, and that strike ball ratio was way out of whack in the first inning. Mark working his way back into the game now as he has been much more effective in the last 3 innings.
Beats it foul first base side. He's thrown 15 first pitch strikes and 5 balls. So, as you say, working his way back into a good ratio after that first inning.
Well, that kind of situation is one of those. It's like a batting average. Once you get in a bad ratio early in the game, it takes a while to work your way back out of it. Leiter seems to be working that way. Galen Cisco has to be much more happy about what he's done in the last 3 than the way Leiter worked in the first.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3 call, a fastball in the inside corner, and Finley has the hat trick and 3 at bats. 2 outs and nobody on base.
Mark got him to chase a couple splitters early. This time freezes him with that tailing fastball on the inside corner. Finley decided, I'm not going to swing at the bad ball in the dirt. Takes the heater on the inside corner. Much lighter when he throws the ball. He always looks like he's covering up, like he expects that line drive back up the middle.
He's ready.
Yep, you got to be ready.
See Finley saying to Eric Gregg there, he thought that pitch was inside. Tony Gwynn, ho-hum, 2 for 2, batting at .384 on his way to an 8th National League batting title, which would tie Honus Wagner for the National League lead in that category. And Ty Cobb had 12 of them for the Major League record. What a machine this guy is. And if he just wants to stick around a few more years, he'll get his 3,000 hits, which would be appropriate. He has had 14 consecutive 300 seasons, and that will be 15 after this year.
Yeah, there isn't a slump around that's going to take him under 300 this year.
No, not when you're hitting 384 with 482 at bats. And he's turned on a lot more balls this year. He has over 100 RBIs for the first time in his career. And you see right there, he jerked the ball way foul.
Well, there was a time the last couple of years when you could just work Gwynn away, and he didn't have the ability to spin on the pitch on the inside. But this year he's been healthy, and that really has made a difference in Tony Gwynn's power numbers. As you mentioned, the 103 RBIs already a career high, and the 16 home runs also a career high for Tony Gwynn.
Breaking ball. Is that a rare strikeout? It is.
Oh, we've done something special.
Hardly ever strikes out. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.
Take a look at this. You won't see it very often. Tony Gwynn on a check swing, strike 3.
Get ready for the Mania. Movie Mania. Summer Movie Mania begins this May only on Prism. Call your cable company and order Prism today.
Flutie did it! He got Phelan in the end zone! Touchdown! All the band is out on the field! He's going to go into the end zone! He's going into the end zone!
The plays last only a few seconds, but the memories live forever. Get into the game. Recapture the spirit. Catch the strategy. Bask in the glory. Honor the tradition at the College Football Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana, where the play never ends.
Budweiser. I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. #1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
I know.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
We are in the bottom of the 5th inning, game #1. We'll have all of it for you tonight on Sports Channel, so don't touch that dial. Larry Rosen will be back for play-by-play with Teak in the 6th inning. Chris Wheeler with you for a couple tonight to give Larry a little breather. And Midre Cummings will lead it off the top of the order. He's 2 for 2 tonight, followed by Mickey Morandini and Rico Bronya, 3 left-handed batters to face the right-hander Will Cunnane. Inside, ball 1.
We mentioned last inning, Wheels. A good chance if you can get Cunnane out of this ball game early to get into the San Diego Padres bullpen. This is probably the best opportunity the Phillies are going to have early on in this game.
That ball is creamed. Finley plays really shallow, and he won't get there. And it's going to bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. His 13th double of the year. Finley plays one of the more shallow center fields in the league, and he had no shot to run that one down.
Cummings with his 3rd hit of the evening gets it started for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 5th. Fastball up out of the strike zone. Cummings goes up and gets it. As you mentioned, Finley shallow in center field, had no chance. Ball actually a bad break for the Phillies as it bounces up over the wall in center field. Cummings was going to have at least 2 easily, possibly 3, but he'll have to settle for a double number 13 on the season to start the 5th for the Phillies.
And Morandini, the batter, struck out grounded to short. Mickey will be looking to pull or put a bunt down, and he bunts it foul third base side.
And the reason I was mentioning is a good opportunity, or probably the best opportunity for the Phillies to get Cunnane out of this ball game and get into that Padre bullpen is the fact that they are at the top of the order. And indeed, Bruce Bochy has his bullpen up. That's Dario Verres, the right-hander, throwing down there. Of course, if you hear the Padres bullpen tonight, it will be a right-hander.
Yeah.
Bruce Bochy has no left-handers in his bullpen. But the top of the order and a chance right now to chase Cunnane out of this ball game and do themselves not only good here, but also for game 2.
Mickey hits it hard to left field, a base hit. Cummings will move on over to third. So the Phillies with runners at the corners. And nobody out here in the 5th inning as they have a great scoring chance, already leading it 1-0.
And right on cue, the Phillies offense just keeps on rolling. Morandini lines his ball into left field. Again, that tailing fastball by Cunnane away from him, just stays with it. And Caminetti up at third had no chance. Now, just what we were talking about an inning ago, too, with Cunnane not being a very big guy, stamina could be a problem for him. Had trouble in the 4th inning with the bottom part of the order. Now, all of a sudden, again in trouble with the top part of the order here in the bottom of the 5th. Great opportunity to try to get something done right here and make some hay while the getting is good.
Rico Brogna. He has popped up, walked, and scored the 1 run in this game. Mike Lieberthal, the on-deck batter. Padres have the infield a double play depth. Cunnane throws a sinker down and away, trying to entice a double play ball. 1-0 now on Brogna, batting at .245 with 15 homers, 68 runs batted in. Good chance to get the Phillies another run here. Fouled away left side, now to play.
The Padres defensively set up for the double play, but Cunnane has not had a whole lot of success tonight getting the Philly hitters to hit the ball on the ground. Only 2 outs made in this entire ball game on the ground. Morandini grounded out to short in the 3rd, and then Mark Leiter ends the 4th by grounding out to Caminetti on that tapper over the mound. So only 2 ground balls in the game has Will Cunnane been able to induce.
By the way, that hit for Robertson was his first National League hit. He had 1 hit in a White Sox uniform in '96. It was his first career run batted in. There is Will Cunnane. He has 8 double play groundouts and 79 opportunities. So that's not a whole lot of double plays for a guy who looks like he's trying to sink a lot of balls too. Two balls and 2 strikes now. Bruce Bochy, the manager of this ball club, has done a good job here for a couple of years. Inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Interesting situation whether you run or not. And John Vukovich going through the signs. We shall see. He goes, and it's low. Ball 4. They have him loaded. Good at bat by Rico Brogna. Morandini was running on the pitch, and the bases are loaded. Here comes Bochy, and he could be doing just what Teak was talking about, having to go to the bullpen a lot earlier than he wants, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He has already made the wave to the pen.
So the Phillies, top of the order, has been able to accomplish exactly what they hope to do here in the 5th. Haven't got on the board yet, but Will Cunnane will be out of this ball game as Bruce Bochy makes the trip to the mound.
Dario Veras, a right-hander on his way in. Back with more right after this.
I teach 1st grade.
I teach high school classes.
As soon as school gets out, we pack up our camper and we start out traveling. We get Scotty's schedule and we decide where we're going to go. We're all loaded up with groceries and clothes and the dog. And
We'd much rather be out in the woods than we would downtown somewhere.
We love to follow them. We like to see the different ballparks. Other guys might think, well, gee, his parents are camping instead of in motels like ours. But to Scotty, he's used to that. He'd be surprised if we didn't.
If you've been waiting to buy a new minivan, the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. With up to $1,000 cash back on Caravan, or pay this low price for our 7-passenger Caravan, making it the lowest price minivan in the industry. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Travel provided by U.S. Airways. U.S. Airways offers the only daily nonstop service from Philadelphia to Munich, Germany.
And we're back here at Veterans Stadium. The Phillies leading the game 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th, but threatening for a lot more. Will Cunnane is finished for the night. There's the line on him. That is incomplete as he departs with 3 runners on base, all his responsibility. The walks hurt him. 2 strikeouts in the game, and as Teak mentioned, maybe a lack of stamina is starting to catch him a little bit. 72 pitches as he departs in 4+ innings. And another slightly built guy who throws pretty hard, right-hander Dario Veras, comes in. He's 6'1", 155-pounder, born in Santiago in the Dominican Republic, now makes his home in Villa Vasquez in the Dominican. You see, he has not pitched up here a whole lot this year. He had a groin strain and also some shoulder problems this season, so Veras has not pitched a whole lot. He was down at AAA Las Vegas and was recalled on August the 8th when Jim Bruschi was placed on the disabled list. Ken Caminetti, as you saw there between innings, had gone into the dugout. We've shown several shots of him. He does seem to be limping noticeably after that play in which Mike Robertson got his first National League hit and RBI.
Well, it's going to take more than a sprained or twisted ankle to get Ken Caminetti out of the ball game. Mentioned Veras, a hard thrower. 15 innings worth of work, 16 strikeouts, so he has the ability to come up with the strikeout pitch. With the Phillies in pretty good shape right here, bases loaded, nobody out. Mike Lieberthal, the number 4 hitter at the plate.
Lieberthal 0 for 1 with a walk. Infield a double play depth. Swing and a miss at a first ball slider. These guys would gladly give up a run here with the Padres for a double play. There are the runners. Midre Cummings at third. Mickey Morandini at second. And Rico Brogna with a walk on at first base.
The table is set.
Yeah, it sure is set for Lieberthal. You see him with the bases loaded. He does have 1 career grand slam. Veras fastball slider pitcher. There's a fastball. Oh, did he have a rip at that? Tailed right back into his wheelhouse, and Lieberthal fouled it back, but he's in the hole 0-2. The on deck batter, left-handed batting Billy McMillan. No balls and 2 strikes to Lieberthal. A slider, a little looper into right field, and a base hit. Cummings scores. Here comes Morandini. He's going to score. Brogna to third. Phillies 3. And the Padres nothing on a bloop single to right by Mike Lieberthal.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but all of a sudden Mike Lieberthal gets this fastball. He doesn't know where it's at. He's looking up, thinks he popped it up. It's actually flaring over the head of Wally Joyner at first base. Mike couldn't find the ball, but it was in a perfect spot right down the right field side. Veras has to go out. They don't all have to be line drives, Mike. That's a 2-run laser off the bat of Mike Lieberthal.
And Cunnane's in there thinking, doggone, those are my runs.
Yep, that's right. Credit those 2 to Will Cunnane.
And he's still responsible for another one as McMillan bats. 1 for 2 in this game. He's flied out and single. Big swing and a miss at the pitch from Dario Veras.
All of a sudden, with the Phillies with a couple more runs on the board, lead at 3-0. Padres middle infielder is playing a little shorter than double play depth. McMillan hits the ball hard on the ground. They're going to come home with it. If it's hit softly, then they'll turn 2. So the score has dictated the Padres have to tighten up that infield defense a little bit.
Brogna the runner at third, Lieberthal on at first. Outside. First baseman Wally Joyner's kind of playing off Lieberthal at first, figuring he's not going to run. So they're taking a chance that they can take some of that hole away on the right side with a left-handed batter up.
And then you see Kilvio Veras right next to him playing at the same depth. Not all the way in, but definitely not back at double play depth either.
Phillies with 2 runs in the inning, lead at 3-0, first to 2 here at the Vet. McMillan fouls it out of play, left side. Dario Veras, no relation to Kilvio, is appearing in his 4th lifetime game against the Phillies. Prior to this, 1 1/3 inning, 1 hit, no earned runs. So the Phillies have seen a little bit of him and know that he's a sinker slider guy. He got ahead of Lieberthal 0-2, and then Mike got the bloop single. And now he's ahead of McMillan 1-2. See, wants a high fastball there. Does Hernandez, and it comes in high, 2-2. Did not get him to chase.
And that's a pitch that they were looking for a strikeout on. They weren't looking for a double play when you throw a high fastball in that situation. They were looking to try to strike out McMillan and then be able to get the double play to get out of the inning. Didn't work.
Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're in a potential running situation again here.
That was kind of a strange pitch by Veras as he slowed his arm motion way down. That pitch well off the outside part of the plate to McMillan.
It's a changeup.
Yeah,
he normally throws fastball slider.
And it wasn't a very good one either.
Yeah, as you said, you could see his arm stop. If we can see it, you certainly think the hitters can. Lieberthal leads off first. And Veras steps off. Probably unlikely that he'll go. I don't think they've seen enough of McMillan to know whether or not he's going to swing through pitches in this situation. Lieberthal, of course, not a good base runner who won't get any kind of a jump. Not that he's not a good base runner. I mean that he's not fast. So we'll see. He does not go, and it is low again. Ball 4, and they're loaded once again. So the Phillies continue to put a lot of pressure on the Padres in this inning. And the Padres pitchers hurting themselves with bases on balls. And Kevin Jordan will get a chance to hit with the bases loaded as Bochy knows he's facing a long night of baseball here and is already into his bullpen in the 5th inning and still nobody out.
Yeah, this is worst case scenario for Bochy too. Your starter comes out of the game in the 5th inning, and now all of a sudden you bring a reliever in who is not getting the job done, at least not, right away. So still no action in the Padre bullpen as it's Veras' inning to get out of.
Good play by Hernandez on a slider in the dirt, 1-0. Kevin Jordan has popped up foul and got on a fielder's choice. Was robbed of a base hit by Caminetti his last time up on a brilliant play to his left. So the Phillies looking to do some major damage in this inning, try and make it a little easier for Leiter. Low, 2-0.
Let's give the Phillies offense a little bit of credit here too. You're in a position sometimes to deliver a knockout punch, and it does not always happen, but the top of the order has been very productive. All of the first 5 hitters have reached base in a situation where you had Cunnane on the ropes. Might have been tiring just a little bit. All the elements were there, but the Phillies hitters have been able to take advantage of that.
3 hits and 2 walks for those 5 base runners. 2-0 now to Kevin Jordan. Fastball, and he fouls it out of play right side. And a conversation now between Veras and Hernandez.
The point of that conversation, very briefly put, is you better throw strikes. You don't have anywhere to put him. Don't get too cute. Kevin Jordan also knows that, so he should be loading it up pretty good here.
Another fastball, and he rips it through the middle. 1 run scores. Lieberthal held at third. They go 1 at a time. 4-0 Phillies. Still nobody out here in the 5th inning, and that will complete the line on Will Cunnane. RBI number 18 for Kevin Jordan. And there is Cunnane, who will be charged with 4 earned runs.
And loaded up does Jordan as he gets that fastball right down the middle at the belt and slams it back through the middle. Run number 3 of the inning for the Phillies in the form of Rico Brogna. Run number 4 in the game. Keep the line moving.
And Mike Robertson, the batter, got that infield single. He had gone 1 for 7 in the uniform of the White Sox in a brief trial with Chicago. Now has a National League hit. And this pitch is over. Breaking ball for a strike. Hit a fly ball to left his first time up. It's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Robertson had those 7 at bats last year for the White Sox. He was at Nashville most of the year, and then up with Chicago where he was 1 for 7. There is,
that's our guy,
the Budweiser guy,
Jim Bruschi.
Jim Bruschi, right.
Bruce Bochy didn't want to have Jim Bruschi up at this part of the ball game, but Dario Veras just not able to get anybody out so far.
He just brought him off the DL. That's hit hard to right. It's going to drop in. 2 more runs are going to score. Robertson on his way to second, and he has a double. Kevin Jordan over to third. The Phillies with 2 more runs. And they have broken this baby open with a 5-run 5th inning. Now lead at 6-0, and they're still alive with nobody out.
Well, Mike Robertson's first RBI as a big leaguer was a chopper off the plate. This one a liner into the right field corner as he sends Tony Gwynn all the way over there. Let's just keep the line moving. Mike Robertson rides in Mike Lieberthal, Billy McMillan right behind him. Phillies now with 5 runs in the inning, 6 in the game, and still nobody out. The top of the order is doing good, and now Veras is going to intentionally walk Kevin Stocker, the 8th hitter in the inning, to reload the bases again. So Mark Leiter will be the 9th hitter in the inning. He will come to the plate with the bases loaded and still nobody out.
Nice situation for him. He batted with the bases loaded last time.
I'll tell you what, those guys listen good downstairs. You talk about, okay, this is a chance to put the knockout punch on them. First 8 guys on base, get the pitcher up with bases loaded and nobody out.
That's
pretty
a
good
knockout.
They did good.
Yeah, they did.
They done good, and we're going to be scratching on this card because we're going to go for a bat around plus in this inning.
Yeah, and you know, Bruce Bochy, I mean, they've already given up 6, and now they walk about her. He's looking for an out here in Leiter, but by doing that, I mean, you're going to assure that the top of the order plus comes up. Unless he hits into a double play.
I was going to say, in this situation, you almost would be very happy if Mark Leiter just goes up and strikes out.
Right.
Because now you've got the bases loaded, 1 out, and the top of your order coming up again.
Exactly. I mean,
strikeout is not the worst thing in the world at this point in the ball game.
The one thing you want him to do here, if he doesn't get a hit, obviously, is make 1 out. Uh-oh. Safe at first, and Kevin Jordan made that play. Kevin Jordan came in and went after Hernandez as the catcher, and it made Hernandez take an extra step, and as a result they don't get a double play. Phillies of course don't score there, but the bases are still loaded, and watch how Hernandez has to take another step.
Yeah, Jordan gets just enough of him that makes him kind of double clutch as he takes the ball out of his glove. That gives just enough time for Leiter to beat it out at first base. So potential double play, which was the worst case scenario, turns into just 1 out, which was what we were looking for.
Right.
Now the only bad news is Leiter's on the bases, but be happy with that.
He is on at first base, as you see there. Phillies have batted around. Here's Cummings, pops it up foul behind the plate and out of play. I thought that was close. Going right in that gutter right above us.
I'm out there looking for a play and you're bailing again.
I thought he was going to deflect in here.
Oh.
What a night Cummings has had. He's raised his average from 244 to 255, 3 for 3. Led off this inning with a double over the head of Steve Finley. In fact, it was a ground rule double. No balls and 1 strike. Bases loaded to Cummings. Whoa. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fouled away again, left side now to play. Phillies have batted around in the inning and scored 5 times. They still have them loaded with Mike Robertson, the runner at third base, Kevin Stocker at second, and pitcher Mark Leiter on at first on the fielder's choice. And a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Midre Cummings with Mickey Morandini on deck. Foul ball down the line. It will also go out of play. Veras on the gun at 93. Throws pretty hard. Tries to sink the ball. Throws a lot of sliders and a rare changeup. And you see Midre Cummings with the bases loaded. He has yet to hit a grand slam home run in his major league career. Another foul ball off to the left and into the crowd. And he continues to battle Dario Veras.
You're still jumpy too, aren't you?
I don't like this.
No. Have faith. I'll protect you.
We ain't fast enough to get to those kind. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Cummings.
Well, I'm smart enough to get out of the way.
Looper into center field. That's a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes another run to the plate. It's cut off. 2 more runs score, and the Phillies are having an enormous inning. They have now scored 2 more runs, and they lead it 8-0. It's a 7-run inning. Their biggest inning this year has been 8 twice.
Cummings with his 4th hit of the ball game. You see that pitch tailing out of the strike zone, just able to flip it into center field. Gets himself a couple of more RBIs. See Steve Finley's throw to home plate cut off by Wally Joyner as Kevin Stocker slides across the plate. Mike Robertson, of course, standing up first, and Stocker on the ground. 7 runs in the inning for the Phillies.
And another pitching change.
And Bruce Bochy is back to the mound.
Well, it looks like that Jim Bruschi is going to come on. Dario Veras not able to get the job done. 8-0 Phillies. Back with more after this.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
If you want more standard power than Accord and Camry and more passenger comfort starting at $16,695, then you want Ford Taurus.
This is the car I wanted. The right price, the right time.
Now is the time during Ford's factory authorized clearance. With $1,500 cash back, Ford Taurus is clearance price starting at $16,695, nicely equipped.
It's safe, it's powerful, and it's affordable.
Ford Taurus, the one you want during Ford's factory authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Well, it has been some inning for the Phillies. They now lead at 8-0. They have scored 7 runs in this inning, 6 hits and 3 walks. So they are 1 off their biggest inning of the year. As I mentioned, it was 8 twice, once at Florida in the 9th inning and also at Pittsburgh. And that came a week apart. Now here is Jim Bruschi, who was just activated off the disabled list prior to the game, so they would have an extra pitcher. And unfortunately for the San Diego Padres, the way this is going right now, it looks like they're going to need him.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Phillies. Talk about you want to get into the bullpen. Well, you've already made Veras throw quite a few pitches in the first game. Now Bruschi on. He's going to have to throw for a while. Soften that bullpen up for game number 2. And just keep the pressure on here in game number 1.
They're the 2 guys that have given up the run so far. On the right, the starter Will Cunnane and Dario Veras on the left. And both of them look like they just witnessed a 9-car wreck or something.
Yeah, Cunnane gave up 4 runs. Veras 4 to this point. Still responsible for the 2 runners on base as Mickey steps in.
Morandini got a base hit in this inning. He's 1 for 3 overall. Facing Jim Bruschi, just off the disabled list. He was suffering from right bicep tendonitis. Last pitched August 5th at Cincinnati. He's a 6'1", 185-pounder. Went to camp this year as a non-roster invitee. Pitched for the Dodgers the last couple seasons. Morandini fouls it out of play left side. Bruschi, coming into this season, had been in just 20 major league games with an earned run average of 5.16. There are your base runners. Mark Leiter on at second. And Midre Cummings, in his first career 4-hit ball game, is on at first as that pitch comes sailing high inside and gets Morandini's attention.
I think the crowd reacting after the situation in the last couple nights. This is the pitch that got away from Bruschi up and into Morandini. Last thing in the world he's going to do in this situation is start throwing at somebody. They're trying to figure out a way to get out of this inning.
And another high fastball misses, and the count's 2-2 on Mickey. Eric Gregg walks out in front of the plate and kicks a little dirt off it, as that plate has been pounded on quite a bit in this inning by the guys in red and white. 7-run inning for the Phillies. Still only 1 out and 2 men on. 2-2 on Morandini. Breaking ball, a backdoor breaking ball. He didn't like the call. He said something to Eric Gregg as he walks by, and that's the 2nd out of the inning.
Second time tonight Morandini has not agreed with the call by Eric Gregg, and I think he might have had a legitimate complaint.
Yeah, that pitch was probably a little bit outside.
Yeah, Mickey's already getting set for the next one, and Eric sends him back to the bench.
Rico Brogna takes a curveball over for a strike. Rico has walked twice and scored once in this inning. High and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. 8-0 Phillies here in the first game of a doubleheader. Padres coming into this game 6 games under 500 and not playing well lately, and in trouble in this one. Two and 1. Bruschi, born in East St. Louis, Illinois, now makes his home in Tempe, Arizona, as we mentioned, with the Dodgers organization. Pitched at Albuquerque and LA the last couple years. Originally selected by Cleveland as a first-round pick. A strike called. That was back in June of 1986. Attended Loyola Marymount University in the Southern California area. 2-2. Fouled back by Brogna. Phillies have 7 runs in the inning on 5 hits. Or 6 hits. And of course those walks mixed in. And give Kevin Jordan some credit too for that slide he made at the plate. That kept the inning going and helped the Phillies score more. Low. Ball 3, 3-2. So now Leiter at second and Cummings at first will be off on the pitch. There's your situation.
And it's a good one.
A very productive inning for the Fightin' Phil so far. There they go, and it is just fouled down the third baseline. As Brogna hit it hard outside the bag, and everybody will come on back and start over. There's Mark Leiter, who has a nice little 8-0 lead to take into the bottom of this inning, or to the top of the 6th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There they go, and it's ripped right at Wally Joyner for the final out of the inning. But what an inning. 7 runs on 6 hits. They leave 2. Larry Rosen will be back with this game well in hand to join team.
Explorer has everything I want.
I sit up higher?
Got the V8.
I love the power.
It's Ford's factory authorized clearance. The one you want. Ford Explorer, just $299 a month for 24 months.
After the test drive, we were hooked.
We love it.
More cargo room than Cherokee, more horsepower than Blazer. Ford Explorer, $299 a month. But hurry while selection is best, because $299 a month ends September 3rd during Ford's factory authorized clearance at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
A Pride of the Phillies poster in the final Mellon PSFS Business Person Special when the Phillies play the Padres Wednesday, August 27th at 1:05. Great seat locations start at just $5. Call 463-1000 and ask about the daily special.
Why does Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile have the most advanced digital network on the East Coast? So your cell phone will work here. It works way out here and here. In fact, to ensure that you'll have enhanced voice clarity and privacy, we built a digital network of monumental proportions. After all, a cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile.
Eric Gregg, the home plate umpire, had a discussion between the innings with Mickey Morandini. Remember, Mickey not excited at all about the third strike call. Mickey was going out to his position at second base, had something to say to Eric Gregg, and didn't take very long at all. Eric gave Mickey the heave-ho. Terry Francona out there immediately to try to get Morandini out of there, but Eric Gregg already has ejected Mickey Morandini from the ballgame for arguing that called third strike. Mickey didn't leave right away. He's staying around and not real happy about the situation, even though the Phillies are up in the game by a score of 8-0. Amazing the intensity, even though the ball game now opened up. Mickey's still upset about the fact that Eric called him out on that wide breaking ball for strike 3. Take a look at the scores. We go to the top of the 6th. Phillies up in front by a score of 8-0. Eric Gregg has ejected Mickey Morandini from the game. That brings Kevin Sefcik into the ball game. He will take over at second base. Be the new second baseman. Mark Leiter goes back to the mound with an 8-run lead to work with, and Larry Rosen had a couple innings off, and I got to tell you, your middle reliever did a heck of a job. Chris Wheeler comes in here. Not only have the Phillies scored 8 runs in the 2 innings that he was here, but also the skies have cleared. So Larry, you got your hands full. The man has set it up for you. Your setup guys set it up. Now it's your job to close it out.
Not a problem. Of course, you step aside, and the Phillies have their one of the most productive innings of the season. They've had 8 runs twice. And now a 7-run spot, and match their season high with 6 hits in the inning. So a lot to work with for Leiter as Caminiti steps in. Leiter working on a 5-hit shutout. That's bounced foul by Caminiti, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. How much different now is the ball game for Leiter in this scenario with an 8-run lead, Teague?
Well, you try not to make it different at all. You try to go out there. He's been successful after the first inning. He's been throwing the ball very well, so you try to stay in that mode. Now, it's been a while since Leiter's been out there, so the first order of business is get your timing, and he comes back the first 2 pitches to Caminiti or strikes. That's a good sign. Again, the first game of a doubleheader, important for Leiter to make those 8 runs stand up, hopefully go the entire way, give the bullpen an entire game off. They will be in excellent shape for game number 2 if indeed he can do that.
Padres into their 3rd pitcher already through 5. Swing and a miss. Foul tip out, held on to by Lieberthal. The 3rd consecutive batter struck out by Leiter.
And number 8 in the ball game as he gets Caminiti to swing at that breaking ball down and in. So the long layoff between innings does not affect Mark Leiter right away as he comes back and gets Caminiti swinging at the breaking ball.
As Chris Wheeler touched on, the Padres, not playing their best baseball, have fallen pretty much out of the race in the West. Ground ball, diving run, it's off his glove and in play. Good hustle, Sefcik. But it pops toward McMillan, who plays the hop perfectly. It'll be a long single for Joyner. A 1-out base runner. Ronnie looked like got a little leather on this, Teague.
Yeah, Joyner hooks this ball over the bag. By the time it gets to Bronya, it's in foul territory, just not able to make it stick in that big first baseman mitt. The Kangaroos off the stands in right field, hops out to Billy McMillan and able to keep Joyner at first base.
Mark Sweeney is 0 for 2. To the gap in left center, slicing back toward Robertson. Out number 2. A great-looking blue pullover workout jacket with the Phillies logo on the front for all fans 14 and under will be yours. Compliments of Bell Atlantic Mobile on Jacket Day, Sunday, September 14th. Against the Reds, a 135 start. A great item for back-to-school fall weather. Fun for the whole family. Call 463-1000 or stop by the Vet Stadium ticket office for ticket information. Bring up Chris Gomez with 2 outs, and Joyner still on first base. Phil's up 8-0. Top 6, game 1 of our doubleheader. Off-speed pitch, strike call. Leiter's been much more economical in terms of number of pitches used since that first inning when he had 3 walks and was lucky to escape unscathed. One and one. With Sefcik now in the ball game and Roland apparently unavailable, good to have Rex Hudler on the bench. So if you have a problem anywhere in the infield, you still have Hudler to go to. Good hop by Lieberthal. It's 2-1. There's Hud.
Always a valuable player to have on your ball club because you can play so many different defensive positions. Also come off the bench as a pinch hitter. Every manager likes to have a player like Rex Hudler on their ball club because he can do so many things and fill so many spots for you.
Fair ball. Jordan goes short way. Got good play on the backhand side by Kevin Jordan. And Mark Leiter is through inning number 6, still carrying a 6-hit shutout. Fills up 8-0.
Neither rain nor mud, nor ruts and ridges, nor rocks and rivers, nor sleet nor snow shall keep a new Toyota 4Runner from keeping you from your appointed rounds. Power you need, and all the room and comfort you want. And with a starting price around $20,000, it could take your dollar even further.
Where you're going, you need more than you can get from just any bank. You need Mellon. At Mellon, we offer a full range of loans designed to help you get from here to there and everywhere in between. Right now, you can get great low rates on our home equity loans. So stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELLON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
I want boom, da, boom, doom. Why do you want to look at my Discover card statement? It's mine. I live in New York City. Of course, I love the theater. Bring in the noise. You know, it's my favorite show. I go there as often as I can, trying to steal another step. And my kids want me to be more risky. Comme des Garçons stuff is, you know, it's risky. I want a cashback bonus.
How many credit cards make a statement like that? It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
A rare opportunity for a start at third base. Back-to-back days for Kevin Jordan, making the most of it, Teague.
Yeah, and he makes a good play right here to end the top of the 6th inning, all the way in foul territory. Pirouettes and a perfect throw to Morandini at second base. Used to seeing Scott Rowland make those types of plays. Kevin Jordan, most notably a first baseman, now playing over at third base with Rowland out of the lineup, makes a nice play. When you get a chance to play and you're a bench guy, you want to take every advantage of it, even though you know as soon as Scott Rowland comes back, you're going to be right back there on the bench.
It's an 8-0 Phillies lead. Jim Bruschi still in for San Diego, but Ken Caminiti will take the rest of game 1 off. Archie Cianfrocco, the one-time Expo, will spell Caminiti for the final several innings.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the lineup for game number 2, as we saw Caminiti limping around during game 1 after he retreated on the ball hit by Mike Robertson early in the ball game. Had a little hitch in his giddy up, so we'll see if indeed this is just to give Caminetti a rest, or if he is hurt and needs to be replaced for game number 2.
Staying on the bench, though, is Mr. Caminetti.
Doesn't surprise me.
Mike Lieberthal leads off. Trying to recall if I've ever remembered a Mickey Morandini ejection. They're looking to see if that was a first-time career ejection for Mickey, because that's fouled straight back by Lieberthal.
I can't remember any, but I would guess that there might have been a couple along the line. I think he gets his dander up every now and then. And
he was called out twice on backdoor breaking balls. The second one in that last at-bat came 2 pitches after being buzzed up around the head, so his attitude might have been a little bit up as well. Cianfrocco just in the ball game, cannot make the play to his left. Hit number 2 on the night for Lieberthal. A reminder, fans coming out to the ballpark tomorrow night for the Powell Celebrity Softball game at 6:30. Featuring, among others, the 76ers voice Mark Zumoff, several other TV, radio, and newspaper personalities. And watch the Phils take on the Padres. Our coverage on Prism begins tomorrow night at 6:30 for Powell night at the ballpark. Billy McMillan, who walked and scored in the 7-run fifth. Playing behind Lieberthal yet again is Wally Joyner. Bow to the plate, 1-1.
In fact, as we look back at that 7-run fifth inning, only Kevin Jordan, who was forced out at home plate on the tapper by Mark Leiter, and Leiter himself did not score in that inning. Everyone else in the lineup got to put a little tally in their run scored column.
Up and in, 2-1. Precisely the scenario that Terry Francona would have hoped for in game 1, with a relief pitcher, Ryan Karp, set to start game 2. He's got 6 shutout innings from Leiter already. McMillan pulls that foul wide of first. It's 2-2.
And of course, then on the other side of the card, Bruce Bochy not getting anything of all of what he wants. Will Cunnane did well through the first 3 innings, gave up the single run in the 4th, and then all of a sudden the major explosion by the Phillies, a 7-run 5th inning, and he is now 2 pitchers into his bullpen and probably going to be deeper yet before this game is over.
Off speed pitch, could be 2. Veros 1. Gomez double play. 4-6-3. Hard hit by McMillan. Teague, when you bring a relief pitcher in to start and you get 3-4 good solid innings, sometimes it goes in an awful hurry, and that's got to be hard to judge for a manager or pitching coach. They didn't quite get to Cunnane fast enough.
Well, I think, you know, a relief pitcher, when you put him out there in a starting role, you don't know how long he's going to last. Number one, physically, he's not conditioned to pitch a lot of innings. You know, you're more like a sprinter. You go hard and fast for a while. You know, a starting pitcher is more like a endurance runner, a long distance runner. So you really don't know when it's going to go, and it did go in a hurry on Cunnane.
Cianfrocco on 2 hops, and the Phillies are down in the 6th, still up by 8-0 as we head to the 7th at the vet.
Here's the 2-2. He struck him out. Hits it hard to right field. It is gone.
He's got him. Yes, he does. Ground ball, fair ball, right field side.
He wants it away. The 1-2, swing and a miss.
Ground ball, great play. Stocker, can he get him? He got him.
He goes. Swing and a miss. Strike him out. Throw him out. Phil's win.
Hit the deep right field. It's gone.
I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. Number 1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser Lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
know.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
Where you're going, you need more than you can get from just any bank. You need Mellon. At Mellon, we offer a full range of loans designed to help you get from here to there and everywhere in between. Right now, you can get great low rates on our home equity loans. So stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELLON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
Get ready to roll with the Dice Man this fall on UPN.
Get with the program, eh?
Hits coming to UPN.
As the sun begins to set in South Philadelphia, we are 6 innings complete. Game 1 of our doubleheader. Game 2 in its entirety to follow. Already game 1 fills up 8-0. Ryan Karp, Andy Ashby standing by as your starting pitchers. Game number 2. Both games in their entirety tonight on Sports Channel. And a comfortable evening thus far for Mark Leiter. 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, and an 8-run lead. We had guessed whether or not Bruschi would be taking one for the team. Teak the rest of the way. Probably not. Scheduled to be the second hitter this inning.
That's the right-hander Sean Bergman throwing down in Bruce Bochy's bullpen. So with Bruschi scheduled to be the second hitter in the inning, we expect that Bergman will come in as Jones has moved out into the on-deck circle for the Padres. It's Chris Jones. So indeed, Bruce Bochy is going to have to go deeper into his bullpen in game number 1 than he had wanted to. Compliments of the 7-run 5th inning by the Phillies.
There is Chris Jones. But first, Carlos Hernandez will lead off. First pitch swinging, fouls it off. One thing, since Leiter's had a little lead to work with, he has thrown strikes.
Yeah, in fact, since the first inning, he's really been around the plate where he wants to be. The first inning was a little bit tough on him with the base on balls, 3 of them. Was able to work his way out of it due to the pickoff of Kilvio Veras at first base, and then all of a sudden got the ship righted, and it's really in good shape right now.
Drops down a little bit, 1-1. Carlos Hernandez is a 30-year-old out of the Dodgers organization. Was with the Dodgers for a 6-year period and never got more than 170 at-bats. Tough to be a backup catcher in Los Angeles. Off speed, strike 2.
A couple of guys named Sosha and Piazza that catch about 140, 145 games a year. That will limit your playing time.
He is a native of Venezuela. There is only one other native of Venezuela to ever catch in the big leagues. And I believe he caught you.
Mr. Virgil.
No. Close. Right era. Baudilio Diaz. Did Bo Diaz catch you?
Bobo, yes.
Yeah, he caught you.
Oh, yeah.
The late Bo Diaz. Swing and a miss. Number 9 for Leiter, who has warmed to the occasion.
Take a look right here. Most of the strikeouts Leiter has got, he's got by getting the Padre hitters to expand the strike zone. I can only remember one called strike 3. The rest of them all breaking balls and splitters in the dirt. Why you want to work out in front? They do have to swing at those.
That ties his season high with 9 strikeouts. Had 9 back on the 18th of July against Pittsburgh. He'll now face the veteran Chris Jones. Swing and a miss. Jones has made most of his career as a pinch hitter. Is a .302 lifetime pinch hitter. Padres his 5th major league team. Leiter has reached 100 pitches.
And really that's economical considering the number of pitches that he threw in the first inning.
Nearly 30 in that first inning. Has thrown strike 1 to 19 of the 26 hitters he's faced.
Just in case you're thinking about Mark Leiter's career high in strikeouts, it is 12 back in 1995 against the Houston Astros while he was a member of the San Francisco Giants. So Leiter with 2 2/3 innings to go, within range to possibly challenge that career high in strikeouts if he keeps it going.
Two and two. Chris Jones made the big leagues in '93 when Dale Murphy retired. He retired as a Colorado Rocky, you may recall, and Jones was the man called up from Colorado Springs to take his spot. Had a 2-home run game against the Phillies a couple of weeks later off Curt Schilling and Tim Mauser to right field. McMillan dead in his tracks. Out number 2. And here's Kilvio Veras. Veras got the Padre night off to an auspicious start, walked and was then picked off clean by Leiter in the first inning. Stocker waits for that second hop. And 1, 2, 3 go the Expos. It is stretch time. The Padres rather want the stretch time at Veterans Stadium. Phil's on top 8-0.
Say Merry Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas? Yeah, get lots of stuff. Yay! Get your horsey. Do something cute. You're just gonna sit there and grin?
If you don't stop your friend from driving drunk, who will? Do whatever it takes.
Deep in the forest under redwood trees is a big blue bear and his family. They laugh all together, they play all together, they sing and dance and stay all together. So if you're ever in the forest under redwood trees.
Midas, auto systems experts. Where you're going, you need more than you can get from just any bank. You need Mellon. At Mellon, we offer a full range of loans designed to help you get from here to there and everywhere in between. Right now, you can get great low rates on our home equity loans. So stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELLON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
This is Dick Vermeil with an important message. Personal Choice, the flexible, high-quality, and affordable health coverage is available in Pennsylvania. Only from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield, the folks you can lean on.
The Phillies official magazine special yearbook edition is available now. A spectacular publication with fantastic color photos, terrific stories, player features, including one on Curt Schilling called Curt's Passions, Family, Fans, and Philly, plus some little-known facts about Phillies players. Magazine's $8 at the ballpark. You can purchase it by phone calling 463-1000 or mail a Phillies yearbook, P.O. Box 7575, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19101. And please add $4 for mail and handling. It's a real keepsake. We move to the bottom of the 7th, and yet another hurler for the San Diego Padres, Teague.
Yeah, Sean Bergman, another right-hander on for Bruce Bochy's ball club, on for the 37th time this year. You see his numbers. Bergman, a sinker slider type pitcher, gets a lot of ground ball outs, throws everything hard and low in the strike zone. So Bergman going to get a little work here in game 1. And the Phillies now on their Bergman, the third reliever used by the Padres. They have 6 in their bullpen. They have now already used 3 in game number 1. That will weaken them just a little bit for game number 2.
Facing Mike Robertson, who's had a huge night. Robertson, his first National League hit, his first National League RBI in the 4th on an infield chopper, and that's nearly his 3rd hit. Then he had a double to play a couple of runs in the 7-run 5th. He had 1 hit in a brief stint with the White Sox. It was a double. So that was not his first Major League extra base hit, but certainly his first multi-hit ball game. Take a peek at Robertson's grip, which we talked about. We talked about the overlapping fingers earlier. He also seems to press those wrists together, unorthodox arm position. As he drills that to right field, Gwynn's got a look for out number 1. Any guess what that might be for him?
Well, you know, what the hitters try to do is the worst thing that can happen to a hitter is have the bat slip back into their hands. They want the bat out in their fingers more than back against the thumb. And Robertson, when he pulls those wrists together, actually forces the bat back out into the end of his hands where he can go ahead and use the wrist to turn the bat over and develop bat speed.
Here's Kevin Stocker. He's walked a couple of times, once unintentionally, once intentionally, in the middle of that 7-run fifth, scored a run. Now hitting at 260. Sean Bergman is 27 years of age, out of the Tiger organization, where he was exclusively a starting pitcher through the early stages of his big league career. Started 28 ball games for Detroit in '95. Padres brought him over as a starter. His first 14 times on the hill was as a starter last year, then moved into the bullpen.
Yeah, they found out with Bergman that he's much more effective out of the bullpen as a starter. As the pitch is mounted, his location would start wandering on him. He would get the ball up in the strike zone, didn't have as much control. But as a reliever, when he doesn't get tired as quickly, then all of a sudden he's able to keep the ball down in the strike zone. He's been much more effective for the Padres out of the bullpen than he was for either Detroit or San Diego as a starter.
Not a strikeout pitcher, just 66 strikeouts in 87+ innings. High to short left field. Gomez calling all the way, and then Sweeney runs him off it for out number 2. And here's Mark Leiter. Should get a nice round of applause.
Fans appreciative of Mark's work this evening as he got himself righted after that rugged first inning.
Takes a strike called. Don't touch my hat.
Well, guy had a Padres jersey on. You got to imagine that it's a Padres hat. Now the Philly hat gets the cheers. The Padre hat gets the boos. Cheers, boos.
1, 2, 3. Go the Phillies in the 7th. We'll head for the 8th inning. Phil's on top. 8-0.
If you've been waiting to buy a new minivan, the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. With up to $1,000 cash back on Caravan, or pay this low price for our 7-passenger Caravan, making it the lowest price minivan in the industry. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Deep in the forest under redwood trees is a big blue bear and his family. They laugh all together, they play all together, they sing and dance and stay all together. So if you're ever in the forest under redwood
Midas, Auto Systems experts.
It's time for Bernie Williams to get into the batter's box and face a rock-hard ball coming from just 60 feet 6 inches away. Battling sinkers, sliders, curves, fastballs, and the occasional brushback. But Bernie doesn't sweat it. Hey, he's got a whole 1/10 of a second to react.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. By your Quality Plus Ford dealers who invite you to test drive Ford's all-new Expedition. By Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. With Kent DeColby, I'm Larry Rosen. Glad you're with us for Sports Channel Baseball. A couple of changes for the Phillies as we roll to the late innings. Ruben Amaro will come in and play left field. He will bat in the third spot, vacated by Rico Brogna, because Mike Robertson has moved from left field to first base. So Ruben will get a hack in the bottom of the 8th as Mark Leiter moves into his 8th inning of work. Leiter has one complete game this year, and it came in a game the Phillies won by a score of 10-1 against St. Louis back in the beginning of August. It's an 8-0 ball game. First of 2 here. Steve Finley leading off. Pulls foul on the curveball, 0-1. Leiter over 100 pitches, but the bullpen remains quiet with a second game to come. Finley has struck out 3 times. It's a relaxing place to have an 8-0 lead. Shades of Tekulve back in the day.
Yeah, you don't get too many of them, so you take advantage of that situation. Of course, you only get to have that advantage for a little while. As soon as game 2 starts, it's right back to the drawing board and start all over again.
Off-speed pitch, defensive swing, about 6 rows deep. Leiter has changed speeds very well. Fastball low 90s, splitter low 80s. Has matched his season high with 9 strikeouts, 3 of them against Finley. Bounces up there about 4 feet shy of home plate. 2-2. Amazing he struck out Finley 3 times, but maybe not as amazing as the fact that he struck out the on-deck hitter Tony Gwynn once.
On a check swing, of all things.
Leiter's 2-2 to Finley. Beaten foul at home plate, still 2-2. Padres were red hot after the All-Star break, making a move within 5 games of first place when the Phillies went out there July 28th and 29th and hammered them a couple of times. The Padres says that a lot of the people say that that's what kick-started this downward spiral that has them well under 500 and pretty much out of the race as Bochy looks over his scorecard. Robertson with the diving stab. He'll go it alone. Out number 1.
Well, we talked earlier about the fact that Mike Robertson, an outstanding defensive first baseman, he comes up with a gem right here. Finley, who had struck out his first 3 times, finally hits the ball hard, but he robbed by Mike Robertson. Not only does he get the ball, but he says, never mind, Mark, I'll take it myself. Completely extended. We're used to seeing Rico Brogna make those type of plays. Robertson comes in for Brogna, does exactly the same thing.
So nobody on, 1 out for Tony Gwynn. First ball hitting and up the middle and through for hit number 3 for Tony Gwynn. That batting average now back to .385 as Tony Gwynn has his 21st 3-hit game. How about he's got as many 3-hit games as strikeouts? Actually, that was his 23rd, and Tony will take the rest of game 1 off for Craig Shipley. Nice round of applause from the Philadelphia fans.
Fans around the game of baseball have been blessed for many years to get the opportunity to watch that guy swing the bat. He is just something special. Of course, we hope now that he got those 3 hits out of his system, maybe he'll calm down a little bit in game number 2 if indeed he is in the lineup, and you would expect that Tony Gwynn would be in there.
Now with 2,746 major league base hits, 3 away from Luke Appling for 40th on the all-time list. Archie Cianfrocco with his first at-bat came in for Ken Caminiti. Caminiti apparently hobbling through the middle innings. And we'll see his status for game 2. Off the fists in front of Ruben Amaro. 2 on, 1 out for Wally Joyner. A reminder, the world champions are coming to Philadelphia next Monday for a 1 o'clock game, then Tuesday at 7, Wednesday at 7. It is this historic meeting at Veterans Stadium, the final interleague games of 1997. Make your plans to come out. Order your tickets easily by phone at 463-1000. Inquire about the daily special or purchase tickets at the Center City ticket office of Mellon PSFS at Broad and Chestnut Street. Off speed pitch way out front was Joyner, who is 1 for 2 tonight with a walk. It's now an 8-hitter for Leiter, who has spread them out. Up and in. Get a peek at Mike Robertson at first base, who is playing behind Cianfrocco. And then as the stretch move is completed by Leiter, he moves hard to his glove side, and not anticipating Joyner to pull, giving up a lot of line. Of course, with the big lead, he can get away with that, but way off the line. Ripped foul. Now it looks as if Robertson's kind of trying to read the target from the catcher or the pitch selection.
Well, he's either getting pitches or whatever. That the first pitch that he broke over towards second base was a fastball away from, or excuse me, a fastball away from Joyner. This time, with the breaking ball called, that was going to be a more off-speed pitch and slower. Robertson stayed where he was at, did not break over toward the first base hole, figuring that Joyner had a better chance of pulling the breaking ball than he did the previous fastball.
1 and 2, of course, not holding Cianfrocco. And playing this one straight. Up the middle, Sepsic, backhand stab, 1 there, and that's all Stocker will take. Good range to his right for Kevin Sepsic to get the fielder's choice.
Phillies just looking for 1 out at a time in this situation. Sepsic doing a nice job of going up the middle, getting the ball to Stocker in good shape. Kevin not even taking a look at first base to try to double up Joyner. In fact, his first peek was over to third base to see if indeed Shipley was going to round the bag too far.
Played that like a first baseman, kind of gave himself the target for the stretch. Good play, Sepsic.
You've got an 8-0 lead. You take them 1 out at a time.
Sweeney, a strikeout, 2 fly balls to left field. Ripped down the right field line, will go to the wall. 1 run will score. McMillan plays it. They will hold Cianfrocco, make that Joyner at third base, but no shutout for Mark Leiter.
Mark Sweeney gets the Padres on the board, gets out in front of this pitch and lines it into right field. McMillan not able to get there, cuts it off at the wall, gets a good carom off the wall, overthrows Sepsic, but Robertson right behind to make the cut and hold Wally Joyner at third base. You see Craig Shipley trotting across the plate with the first run of the night for the San Diego Padres. It's now an 8-1 Philly lead.
And some scurrying in the Phillies' pen.
Jerry Spradlin is up and starting to throw now for the Phillies.
Off-speed pitch, strike 1 to Chris Gomez. He was singled in 3 at-bats. There's Spradlin. The most often called number by Terry Francona this year. Ripped to left. Amaro right in his tracks. Has it for out number 3. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Mark Leiter will not have a shutout, but the Phils will go to the bottom of the 8th, leading by 7.
Some people call them dumb animals.
But there's one thing they understand, and a lot of humans don't. That physical activity is an essential part of healthy living. In fact, even moderate physical activity can help reduce your risk factors for heart disease, which makes acting like an animal anything but dumb. A message from the American Heart Association.
Here's the 2-2. He struck him out. Hits it hard to right field. It is gone. He's got him. Yes, he does. Ground ball, fair ball, right field side. He wants it away. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ground ball. Great play. Stocker. Can he get him? He got him. He goes. Swing and a miss. Strike him out. Throw him out. Phil's win. Hit to deep right field. It's gone.
Baby Blueprints from Independence Blue Cross is a maternity program designed to assist mothers and identify risk factors early in pregnancy.
I had a difficult last pregnancy, and Kate at Baby Blueprints, she was great. She arranged everything, and she was very comforting to talk to on the phone.
Managing high-risk pregnancies is a very challenging job, but it's really worth it in the end.
Baby Blueprints from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. Another reason you can lean on us.
Here's your Toyota National League scoreboard. Los Angeles with a game lead in the West. A ninth inning 8-2 lead. Game 1 of a doubleheader at Pittsburgh. Game 2 to follow. Game 1 in the books at Colorado. Martinez wins it 7-6. Cincinnati over Colorado. San Francisco and New York just getting underway. They're in the first inning. Florida, Chicago, an 8:05 start. Montreal, St. Louis also an 8:05 start. Getting underway in just a few moments. Our ball game has moved to the bottom of the 8th. Phil's on top by an 8-1 count. Couple of defensive changes, T.
Yeah, Craig Shipley, who ran for Tony Gwynn, will remain in the game, and he will play third base. Marky Sinfraco, who was in the game and replacing Ken Caminiti, moves from third base to right field. So Bruce Bochy shuffling his defense, giving a couple of his players a little bit of rest here as the Phillies well out in front in game 1 by a score of 8-1. Head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies looking to do a little more damage, and it appears as if Mark Leiter will go back out for inning number 9 as the bullpen has quieted.
And a career night underway. Midre Cummings, his first 4-hit ball game. He's 4 for 4 with his shot. Had a 5-hit game right here. First pitch swinging, check swing, strike 1. Cummings has gotten his overall batting average up to .259. It's 0-2. As a Philly now, Cummings' average is .342. This is 100th at bat in a Phillies uniform. Should he get a base hit, he'd be at .350 as a Philly. Not a bad little waiver wire pickup. Strike 3 call. 0-2 fastball, and Cummings is down on strikes.
Do something you'll never forget. Join Boa, Callison, Lazinski, Taylor, Hebner, and more for a week of fun, laughter, and baseball in sunny Florida. Get your own uniform and play like the big leaguers. A great gift for any reason. Phillies Dream Week. Call 215-938-1200. Get information and join us in Clearwater, Florida.
Kevin Sefcik, first at bat. Over Finley's head. It one hops off the wall. Sefcik, a stand-up double. Looked like that one caught Finley by serious surprise. Finley plays a shallow center field and goes back on balls wonderfully, but never got close to that.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that Finley does play shallow in center field. Burnt for the second time this evening as Sefcik hits this laser over his head. Midre Cummings earlier in the ballgame, his ball bounced out of the ballpark. Sefcik high on the wall on one hop. So Kevin Sefcik, a one-out double, number 3 on the year for Kevin. Getting a chance to get a little playing action here in the doubleheader and takes advantage.
Ruben Amaro, who came in defensively in the 7th. Outside and low, it's 1-0. Phillies with a bat around plus. A 7-run 5th inning to blow this game open. Game 1 of the doubleheader. Amaro high to short left field. Sweeney has it for the second out. And here's Mike Lieberthal. Conventional wisdom would tell us Mark Parent will start in game 2, so no reason to get Levy out of there early. Couple of hits, has the average at 253. 2 RBIs, has his total up to 61. Club leader in home runs with 18. Strike call. Long and deep to left field. Back to the wall. Gone. Home run number 19 for Mike Lieberthal. RBI 62 and 63. Phillies lead it 10-1.
Philly fans are happy as Mike Lieberthal hits the ball into the left field bullpen. 4 RBIs now on the evening. A hanging breaking ball just stayed right up on the inside part of the plate. Sweeney back up against the wall, but he can't get high enough. Just over the top. Mike Lieberthal with a 4 RBI night. And yes, indeed, if he's going to get the second game off, he earns it.
3 hits in the ball game. Billy McMillan takes strike 1. Amazing that Mark Leiter's other complete game this year was a 10-1 Phillies victory. And here they are in the bottom of the 8th with Leiter set to go out there up 10-1 again. McMillan a hit and a walk. And a smile for Lieberthal. Sitting between the knees.
A little pat on the back from his buddy Mark Parent.
He swung through that, so that will do it for the Phils in the 8th inning. But they've had their lead by a pair on the long ball by Lieberthal. Leiter will try to close it out when we come right back.
When you play Cash 5 from the Pennsylvania Lottery, you can win all the cash all at once. More than $100,000. Okay, if that isn't exciting enough, how about all the winners all at once? Over 1,000 people have won Cash 5 to date. On average, 4 more people will win this week alone. Play Cash 5, and you can experience the excitement of winning all the cash all at once.
So, you want to see my Discover Card statement?
I am very, very prissy. I love to be pampered. I go have my hair done. I love to go have my nails done, have pedicures, manicures. My biggest weakness would have to be shoes. Cashback bonus award really floats my boat.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
I am definitely a shopaholic.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
If I didn't have to be down here in the bullpen, I'd be up there at Bleacher Beach.
On the abbreviated Toyota American League schedule, Brad Radke will look for win number 18. Minnesota hosting Detroit. Former Philly farmhand Joel Adamson pitching tonight. Milwaukee's only 4 back of Cleveland. That game's an 8:05 start. And out on the coast, Seattle with a 2.5 game lead as players tonight on Anaheim hosting Boston. We will update you, of course, through the course of game number 2. Our ball game's a 10-1 runaway for the Phils in the top of the 9th with Mark Leiter trying to close out his second complete game of the season. And if he does so, it'll be the second time he has a complete game with a 10-1 score. Carlos Hernandez has a double for the night.
And no matter what happens from this point out, Larry, Mark Leiter has done exactly what Terry Francona would have liked him to do. Been effective through the first 8 innings of this first game of a doubleheader. Has, basically left his bullpen intact. You can't ask more from a starting pitcher in game number 1 of a doubleheader except to do that. Even if he needs a little help here in the 9th, no big deal. It's not going to be a whole lot, and you're going to be in great shape going into game number 2 with a reliever, Ryan Karp, on the mound.
Off speed pitch, and Hernandez just gets a little taste of it and muscles it in to left field for a base hit. That'll bring up the pinch hitter Greg Vaughn.
Take a look right here. It's a breaking ball from Leiter. He just kind of spins and stays on the inside half of the plate for Hernandez. I mentioned Mark Leiter's pitch count's got to be getting up there pretty good. Threw a lot of them in the first inning. Got the ratio a lot better on as it went on, but over the course of a ball game, he's in the 9th inning now. He has thrown quite a few pitches.
Vaughn's numbers way down in the middle of a 4 for 36 slide. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
And with that base hit by Hernandez, Jerry Spradlin back up and throwing again in the Phillies bullpen. Mentioned it was a hanging breaking ball, and that's normally a sign that the arm is starting to get tired. You see the big right-hander down there. Arm speed slows down. The ball just kind of spins up to the plate. So Leiter's tank is pretty well empty.
In the dirt.
Would be nice, for Mark personally if he can get through this inning, but he's already done his job this evening.
Greg Vaughn hit one of the longest home runs in the history of San Diego Stadium off Scott Ruffcorn. A home run measured at about 480 feet back on the Phil's first trip out there. He, of course, made Ricky Henderson expendable. Swing and a miss. Does not get cheated.
Well, Greg Vaughn doesn't go up to the plate looking to hit a whole lot of opposite field singles. So that would fall under the category of an understatement.
He went 0 for New York in the 3-game setup. There was 0 for 13. To center field, high and deep. Cummings with room, puts it away, middle of the track, out number 1. And it looked like Vaughn really didn't get that, and still hit it nearly to the 408 side.
Talk about Mark Leiter's pitches. Now 126 pitches in the ball game, but look at the ratio. 84 strikes. He's now got 2 strikes to every ball, and remember back to inning number 1 how bad that ratio was. So he has done an outstanding job of regrouping and getting himself back together and getting into the flow of this ball game once he got out of inning number 1.
14 of his first 23 pitches were balls tonight. Walked 3 in the first inning. Has not walked a batter since. Veras the other way. Amaro on the run, has it lined up, out number 2. And in the Phillies bullpen, Jerry Spradlin still standing, but kind of enjoying Leiter's work right now. Leiter 1 out away from a complete game. There's Spradlin, that out represented by Steve Finley, who he has struck out 3 times tonight. In Finley's last at bat, a brilliant diving stab by Mike Robertson at first base. Hernandez at first, 2 out. Top of the 9th. Phil's lead 10-1. Fouled straight back. I think Leiter dropped down a little bit more that time. I guess at this stage of the ball game, you're pulling out whatever you got.
Well, I mentioned how many pitches Leiter has thrown. Maybe it's hard to get the arm back up there anymore. Gravity starts working.
On the scoreboard, that Dodger Pirates game 1 is a final. Dodgers have won it, so right now they've got a 1.5 lead in the West. Final score 8-2. Late swing, 0-2. And the crowd begins to show its appreciation for the fine night's work of Mark Leiter. as they rise a strike away for a complete game victory. In and out of the glove of Lieberthal. Finley stays alive.
Take a look at Mark right here. As we mentioned, the tank is getting empty. You watch him really get down low and try to push himself toward home plate, getting every ounce of energy he can, going plateward. And is reaching back and trying to finish the job off yourself.
Finley with something in his eye steps out. In the dirt, 1-2. Mike Lieberthal, by the way, that home run in the bottom of the 8th gave him 4 RBIs tonight. That ties a career high for Lieberthal. He'd love to catch strike 3 and walk it out to Mark Leiter. Leiter, a season-tying high 9 strikeouts. 1 strike away from closing the door. High and deep to right field, but in his tracks is Billy McMillan. That's a winner. Mark Leiter, a 10-hit complete game. Exactly what the ball club required in game 1 of a doubleheader, a complete game victory for Mark Leiter. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. There's your battery mates. Mike Lieberthal, a career high tying 4 RBIs. Leiter, a complete game. Back in a moment.
Flutie did it. He got Phelan in the end zone. Touchdown. Oh, the Phelan is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone.
The plays last only a few seconds, but the memories live forever. Get into the game. Recapture the spirit. Catch the strategy. Bask in the glory. Honor the tradition at the College Football Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana, where the play never ends.
For unreasonable enthusiasm, movie mania, an exciting, mind-numbing abundance of sensational stars, blockbuster hits, and out-and-out great movies on Prism. Summer Movie Mania begins this May only on Prism. Call your cable company and order Prism today.
With a Magnum engine here and spacious interior there, Dodge Ram van is all work. Add a seat here, a TV VCR there, wood trim, custom audio, and what was once all work becomes all play. The Dodge Ram conversion van. Add cash back here, plus packet values there, and you can get up to $3,200 off, making the Dodge Ram conversion van a superior choice, here and there. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Get ready to roll with the Dice Man this fall on UPN.
Get with the program, eh?
Hits coming to UPN.
A 7-run 5th inning catapults the Phillies to an easy 10-1 victory over the Padres in game 1 of the doubleheader. And Kent Jacoby right in the middle of that 7-run inning, a youngster named Mike Robertson.
Yeah, Mike Robertson had a great ball game for himself tonight. A couple of base hits, including this double, scoring a couple runs in that 7-run 5th. Robertson 3 RBIs on the ball game. Hadn't had a whole lot of chance to play. Only had 1 at bat before tonight's ball game, but had a big one for himself tonight and enjoys it in style, going in head first into second base.
And
but our Budweiser play of the game, Mark Leiter. 9 strikeouts on the night. Probably none more impressive than this one right here. When you can get Tony Gwynn to strike out on a check swing, you have done something. Mark Leiter with our Budweiser play of the game.
And Leiter carried it through 9 innings. His second complete game. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.
Say Merry Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas? Yeah, get lots of stuff. Yay! Get your horsey. Do something cute. You're just gonna sit there and grin?
If you don't stop your friend from driving drunk, who will? Do whatever it takes.
Get ready for the Mania. Movie Mania. Summer Movie Mania begins this May only on Prism. Call your cable company and order Prism today.
Deep in the forest under railroad trees is a big blue bear and his family. They laugh all together, they play all together, they sing and dance and stay all together. So if you're ever in the forest under railroad
Midas, Auto Systems experts.
Phillies baseball has been brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Mellon PSFS, it's where you're going. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield, the health insurance companies you can lean on. Here's the ball game, really turned in that fifth inning where the Phillies batted around plus. Midre Cummings, his first 4-hit ball game. Mike Lieberthal, a career-high tying 4 RBIs in the first ever 2-hit ball game. 3 RBIs for the youngster Mike Robertson. Complete game victory for Mark Leiter, who wins game number 9 tonight. Mike Lieberthal's home run was icing on the proverbial cake on a high hanger. Became home run number 19 as he muscled it just over the wall in left field into the Padres bullpen to give the Phillies their final margin of victory. And a symmetrical 10-1 victory for the Phils and Mark Leiter. Stay tuned. Our next telecast is coming up shortly. Padres and Phillies. Ryan Karp against Andy Ashby. Game 2 of our doubleheader is coming up next. Terry Francona looking at the final out of Game 1 to close the team's 4-game losing streak. In precisely the scenario a manager would hope for, a complete game out of a starter in Game 1, knowing he's got to turn to the bullpen in Game number 2. Stay tuned, everybody.
Hey, what's our good buddy done? He thinks he can meet that girl. What's the bet?
Hey, Brick Boy, go dust yourself off. Hi, Cupcake. What do you say I buy you a Bud Light and you appreciate it?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Nicely done. Fun to watch.
Make it a Bud Light.
10 years in the league. These legs have more miles on them than most minivans. That's why I never play a game without my Gensana. Gensana's got G115 ginseng, the real stuff.
The lasting energy of G115 is real. It's what makes Gensana different from everything else on the shelf.
You can feel your age, or you can feel your Gensana.
Feel your Gensana.
Halls of Fame, brought to you by Rolaids Antacid. Relief. You know how to spell it.
He made his debut as the 1948 National League Rookie of the Year. He was a 2-time National League batting champion, and after a great 14-year playing career, he moved into the broadcast booth for the very same team he played for. Hello again, everyone. I'm Fran Healy, and welcome to the Halls of Fame. In the next half hour, we'll sit down and talk with one of the original Philadelphia Phillies whiz kids, Richie Ashburn.
Pressure and stress, they can bring on acid indigestion. You need powerful relief. Rolaids can absorb 47% more acid than regular Tums, and it works fast. When life puts the screws to you, Rolaids spells relief.
In 1948, Richie Ashburn packed his bags and traveled to a Phillies training camp. The camp was overflowing with young ball players, all hoping to prove themselves under the watchful eyes of the Major League scouts. Richie was no exception. Before he could follow his dream of playing professional baseball, he first had to make the cut.
I played on an outstate team, they call it, and we competed every year with the good teams from Omaha and Lincoln. They usually, if they didn't win the state championship, this club did that I played on. And those teams got a lot of attention from Major League scouts, so I was well scouted. And you got to remember, once again, I was a catcher, being scouted as a catcher. And then they had what they called the Esquire magazine All-America Boys game, where a team west of the Mississippi played against a team east of the Mississippi. They played that game in New York. I was selected to represent the state of Nebraska. And there were some guys on that particular team that did wind up making the major leagues. Billy Pierce was on that team. Irv Palika was on that team, and there were a few others. So I was probably scouted by, at that time there were 16 major league clubs. I was probably scouted by a dozen of their scouts. So, you know, they knew of us, but you still have to make something. You have to sign. Well, I eventually signed, of course, with the Phillies.
One of the scouts that saw you in the Esquire game signed you?
No, I did talk to the Brooklyn Dodgers. One of their scouts was there, and I wound up in Mr. Branch Ricky's office talking to him. And it's funny, here's a guy who's supposed to be the greatest judge of baseball talent who ever lived. And after he showed me all the catchers that the Dodgers had in the organization, we're talking about good ones, Campanella, Gil Hodges was a catcher then, Bruce Edwards was there, and a few more, really, Rube Walker. After he showed me all those catches and made it very clear that the Dodgers didn't particularly need catches, he said, son, if I were you, I'd go back to Nebraska and do what you're going to do before you want to be a ball player. So, but you know, I was 17 years old, and when you're 17 years old, there isn't much that will deter you if you have the desire and inclination to be a ball player. And I hadn't even been tested yet in any type of pro ball. I wasn't about to give up trying to play.
What was it like when you were signed?
Well, it was no big deal. It was kind of nice that the people where I lived were pretty happy about it. My family was pretty happy about it, but it really doesn't mean anything. Just because you sign, you have to go out and then you have to play and you have to accomplish something. So, but we were very pleased about that. And but it was a lot different than I thought it would be. I signed I did not sign a Phillies contract. I signed a Phillies minor league contract at Utica, New York, which was in the Eastern League at the time. Well, I thought, well, I'd play my first professional year at Utica, New York. I didn't know that they can farm me out too, which they wanted to do. But Eddie Sawyer, who was my manager in the minor leagues at Utica, greatest man I've ever seen as a manager. He said, well, it was in spring training. He said, well, let me keep this kid around a little bit. You know, he can run, he can do this, and he can do that. So I did stay around, and I did play my first professional year at Utica, New York. Now, that was a Class A league, and then they had B, C, and D leagues. They don't have that anymore. So there was some room underneath that A league. In fact, the Utica team, the A league, was the Phillies' highest minor league team. They didn't have a double A team, or they didn't have a triple A team. So all our good minor leaguers wound up at Utica, New York, and we had a very good team there. We won a pennant and a playoff both years we were there, and won it rather easily.
When were you notified you were going to go into the major leagues?
Well, the Phillies in 1948 had a special minor league training camp for their prospects. The Yankees used to do that. I can remember Mickey Mantle being involved in that years ago. They were their outstanding prospects brought to spring training so the big club could get a look at them, and not to make the team or anything, but to just kind of play along and, you know, get a little better feel of what the major league system is. And that's I went down there as the property of Toronto, who was a AAA club then, with the idea that I would go down and work out and then wind up at Toronto, because I had an excellent year in the year of 1947. I hit 362 in the minor league. But I was going to play at AAA. Well, the Phillies had the batting champion in 1947 was Harry Walker of the Phillies. But he was holding out. He was a center fielder. And by that time, I had been moved from behind the plate to center field. In the minor leagues, that happened. But Harry Walker was holding out for more money. I think he was making. He told me one time he was only making about $12,000, and he wanted to make 20. So that's what he was holding out for. But so they needed a center fielder while he was holding out. Well, so I went in there and I hit very well in spring training, won some games for him, and I could fly. I mean, I could really fly defensively, and I was catching everything in sight. Now Harry Walker was a nice center fielder, but he was getting late in his career, and he didn't cover that much ground. So the pitchers were very happy about having me out there, and I did so well in spring training that they almost had to keep me there. You know, I mean, 4 or 5 games in a row, I win with base hits or this and that. And however, they had me slated for Toronto, and I can remember they told me that when they had the meeting to see who was going to stay with the club at the end of spring training, they were going to send me down. And I remember Benny Bengal, who was a Phillies coach, and he was ex-teammate of Babe Ruth with the Yankees. Benny Bengal was a nice fella. Got up in the meeting. He said, if you send this kid out, I don't want nothing to do with this organization. He's earned the right, and so they kept me. And of course, I stayed there. But that's how I first got my chance.
Richie, what do you remember the positive moments of your major league career? And I know there's many.
When Dick Sisler hit a 3-run home run in the top of the 10th inning at Ebbets Field in 1950, that's a very positive moment because it won a National League pennant against the Dodgers. I would say that would stand out in my mind because of what it meant to all of us. We were young, and we had battled very hard, and we were in danger of losing what we won there. And that was a tremendous moment. I've had so many positive things happen in this career. The batting titles, the awards that I've won, and awards really don't mean much. They just seem to happen when you keep playing. But this is such a great business. Most people in it are nice people. Most people that come to see it at ballparks, there are nice people to work for and nice people to work with. This baseball has been pretty much my profession. As an adult, I played professional ball 2 years in the minor leagues, 15 years in the majors, and am in my 33rd year as a broadcaster. I also wrote for 2 Philadelphia newspapers for 20 years. I mean, this has really been this has been my lifestyle, certainly. And it's almost all been a big plus, a big positive.
As far as broadcasting, he's had a terrific career in Philadelphia. Looking back, what runs through your mind?
Well, I turned this job down at broadcasting when it was offered to me 33 years ago. I didn't think I wanted to. When I retired as a player, I thought I wanted to retire from anything that had anything to do with the field or games. And they offered me this job in the off season, and I had announced my retirement as a player. And they said to me, well, this was a new job. I wasn't taking anybody's place. They had never had a so-called color announcer in Philadelphia. And they said, well, it's December. You got 2 or 3 months till spring training. Think about it. So I thought about it. I thought, well, you know how it is when January rolls around and February rolls around, you get that baseball itch. Well, that's what I got. And I said, hey, I'm going to try this. Here I am 33 years later.
You say you can't start exercising until you get some workout equipment? Well, guess what? You already have it. A reminder from the American Heart Association that ordinary physical activities can help reduce your risk factors for heart disease. Call 1-800-AHA-USA1 and learn how to get in on the action.
Although his career numbers alone could have put him in the Hall of Fame, Richie Ashburn's trip to Cooperstown was littered with obstacles. Things looked especially bleak when after 15 tries, Richie's name was removed from the ballot. But if there's one thing he learned during his career, it's that you never give up.
I think I'm the only guy in there who was taken off the ballot for a period of 3 years and then voted into the Hall of Fame.
How did that make you feel when they took you off the ballot?
I didn't think it was fair. Now, I never reacted much to the vote. I have no problem with the vote. If you were eligible and they voted on you and they didn't think you were good enough, I have no problem with that. I had a problem when they took me off the ballot because that wasn't fair. The day they took Pete Rose off the ballot, they took me off the ballot. But nobody knew about it. And it had to do with the percentage of the vote that you received from the baseball writers when you were eligible from the baseball writers. Now, the most, I had 40-some% of the vote. That's the highest percentage I ever got. Well, the new rule was if you didn't get 60% of the vote, you were taken off the ballot. But that probably wasn't a fair rule to pass now and throw a blanket over the previous 45, 50 years of ball players who were voted on under entirely different rules. But they did that, and they held that. They maintained it for about 3 years, and then the Hall of Fame committee decided the rule wasn't fair. I think when they found out that there's a good many of the players that are in the Hall of Fame didn't receive anywhere near 60% of the vote and got in the Hall of Fame, I think they figured that wasn't fair, and it really wasn't a fair rule.
What's the Hall of Fame mean to you if you can get all the stuff on the periphery out? What does the Baseball Hall of Fame itself mean to Richie Ashburn?
Well, it's a great honor if you're a player. I know that. I'm not a fool. It probably wouldn't mean as much to me as it meant to, as it's going to mean to Mike Schmidt, who was the first ballot Hall of Famer, more votes, total number of votes than anybody ever received. I mean, he ought to feel pretty good about that. You know, there are Hall of Famers and there are Hall of Famers. I mean, I was voted in by the Veterans Committee. I wasn't voted in by the baseball writers, and at one time was taken off the ballot. So I feel very fortunate to have, received this honor. But they didn't exactly carry me in there on sedan chairs either,
During his playing days, Richie Ashburn was something of a Philadelphia celebrity. Today, as a Phillies broadcaster, his status is close to legendary. Richie's passion for the Phillies and for the city of brotherly love itself make him a fan favorite. He may no longer be a whiz kid, but as a broadcaster, he's still part of the game he loved so much. For the Halls of Fame, I'm Fran Healy. So long, everybody.
Halls of Fame, brought to you by Rolaids Antacid. Relief. You know how to spell it.